What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I am Christopher Diggins Saroth, High Paladin of the land of Flarnakoth.
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Hooray!
This week, a movie. We're doing the Dungeons and Dragons movie, baby.
Yeah, we are.
2023's Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yes.
Not
And we got stuff to say.
Whatever. I don't remember.
Might have
2000?
been 2000, 2001, yeah, something like that. It wasn't, it might not have been before 9/11, but it definitely didn't help, you know? I don't want to say they're responsible, but yeah. Anyway, we got a great show today because we got to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. Honor Among Thieves, of course, that is what it's called, to distinguish it from Dungeons and Dragons 1, where they say that 3 times. But you guys, before that, we got to talk about the news of the week.
Yes.
You excited for the news?
I'm always excited, Nando. I hear news and I'm like, yeah, that's something that excites me.
And there's
News
only
is
one.
my favorite part of the podcast. The rest of the podcast, I'm totally checked out. I couldn't give less of a darn.
Let's get that over with as quickly as possible, because there was one big news this week. Only one thing happened on the news. There were 4 trailers that were released. Let's start with the big one. Or first one, I guess. Secret Invasion. It's the one, the Marvel Secret Invasion, you guys. They're making it.
Okay, yeah.
It's got all
Finally.
the guys.
Are we
Finally.
sure, by the way? Are we sure?
I mean, I'm sure in terms of, like, it's what they've told us. They could be lying, but, like, as of now, it seems like that is the plan.
It is
All
impressive that they crafted how long is that show? Like 2 minutes?
Yep.
It's impressive that they crafted 2 minutes of different sequences and footage and yet managed to not tell me anything about what this show is or what it's about.
Spies. Aliens. Nick Fury. Mostly it's about Nick Fury.
You know, Nando, if I didn't know already that Secret Invasion is about aliens, that trailer does not tell me that.
That's a good point.
Well, there's like a green guy in it at one point, right?
But he's the green guy we know, right?
There's lots of green guys in Marvel who aren't aliens.
That's true.
That too.
I mean, it is there's plenty of green guys that aren't aliens. However, there's also a couple that are.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
My point is there's a dearth of information in this trailer.
That's right. Well, isn't that the idea? Isn't that the good thing, kind of, almost? You know?
No, I think it's the bad. I think you have it reversed.
Well,
You flipped it.
I think there's a delicate balance to strike here, where it's like, yeah, you don't want them to give away everything or to tell you too much. But ideally, I watch a trailer, and by the end of it, I'm like, I know what this is.
Yep.
Well, now you know what this one is. It's Nick Fury. Going like, it's a lot of stuff going on.
Nick Fury is in it,
Nick Fury
and also
stuff.
sometimes something explodes.
Yeah, and one guy
also,
is many guys.
And also, he's the only one who can do it. It's him alone.
That's right. Well, originally, that was one of my big questions when they said they were going to make this thing. I was like, why isn't anybody else helping? However, I think they make a point for it in the show, which is like, they're stealing superpowers, so we don't want to add any superheroes into the mix. Like, I think I can dig that.
It's like with a Mazo. It's like, why would you send Superman out of Mazo? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah. But, yeah. Which actor is your favorite actor that's in this, you guys?
Don Cheadle.
Amelia Clarke.
She is in this.
Yeah. Actually, I lied. It's the Natalie Coleman.
Who's that?
Wait, is that not the lady who's talking to her?
It's
Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Olivia Colman.
Ah, yeah.
Where the
she
fuck
is in that?
Oh my god, is that staying in? Oh my god.
Of course it is. She is in that, and she's playing somebody who's like, Nick Fury, I hate you. And yeah, we got her. We got Amelia Clarke, Diggins' favorite from Game of Thrones. We got Bensley King of Deer or something like that. I can't remember his name.
Other way around. Kingsley Benadier.
Damn it. Kingsley Benadier. And then we got those are most of the new ones, right? Any other new ones?
New ones?
We didn't see other ones. I know not Shooter McGavin. Shooter McGavin is in it. Also, Dermot Mulroney is in it, but he was not in this trailer. But we got old guys back. We got what's his name? Fresh off a appearance everyone loved in Wakanda Forever. Martin Freeman is back.
Yeah, nobody thought that was really bad.
Fresh off an appearance in, probably she was in something, Maria Hill is back. What was the last thing she was in, like Spider-Man?
Yeah, probably it was like one of these things, right?
Sounds right.
Yeah, I guess she was at the Infinity, or the Endgame funeral. but quite a limited role. And then we got War Machine, fresh off an appearance in Captain Falcon. I feel like it's the last thing we saw him in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Standing around and being like, don't do it.
So wait, I would like to take a quick interlude here. Nando, I'm sure all of our loyal listeners know, the relationship
And even our
between you-
disloyal listeners.
Yes, exactly. The relationship between you, vis-a-vis War Machine, and like Secret Invasion Skrulls. Would you like to talk about that, just to catch up some of our listeners with your theories from 2011?
In case there's any listeners of this podcast who aren't pre-existing fans of Nando's, those legions of fans that DJ and I bring to the table.
I mean, listen, all I have to say to those fans, and they are legion, is that they are correct to... I still feel good about it, but also I think this one thing that I think was interesting about this trailer is what's his name doesn't do very much, which makes me think maybe that makes him even more of a target. Because it's like if you had too much of him, one thing I do think is interesting about this trailer, to be like, not like to be honest, but like about the kind of the substance of it. I think it's interesting that this trailer doesn't really do any of the like who do you trust stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I imagine that's mostly because if they asked that question, we'd all go, not him, right? Or something. Like we'd figure out the one or two people it probably is, and then that would be the end of it. So I'm happy that they kind of, I don't know, almost maybe managed to sidestep the mystery reveal part of it.
Well, but also if they mentioned that phrase, then it would provide some level of information about what the plot,
yeah, right.
the events of the series are going to be, and we can't have that.
Exactly. See, this is exactly, you get it. It's good that it's mysteries. I think as much as Marvel can do this, I don't know how much of the what's the word, like capital they still have to just go, it's a Marvel thing, you're gonna watch it, shut up.
It's dwindling by the day.
But if they still have enough, I hope they do this forever, because I'm tired of getting things spoiled for me in trailers. And I think this did very little of that. But
I know how it ends. Do you guys want to know? So, we give, a spoiler alert for ending of Secret Invasion?
Yeah, how does it end?
I would love that.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing. So, at the end, Nick Fury actually dies. And, real Nick Fury, he dies. And then Maria Hill's just, standing at his grave. And, again, for real this time, not fake. And they're like, oh, I guess he's, so dead. And then you hear, ba-na-na-na, ba-na-na-na-na, ba-da-na-na-na-na-na-na. And then Wonder Woman's like, I can revive him. And then
listen,
Wonder Woman crosses over to the DCU.
People love her, No one's tired. It's what the people want. So I think we'd all be thrilled. And frankly, I feel like, whatever at this point. Characters have come back from the dead in dumber ways in these movies.
She could use a final appearance that's better than the second Shazam movie.
How dare you?
Yeah, how dare you?
That was the best part of that movie. It's the part where she was like, I'm here.
I just meant that the movie wasn't very good. I wasn't talking about her appearance at all.
Even worse. I do think it is pretty funny. Because I think there's a good chance Nick Fury does die in this. He seems like he's been on borrowed time for a while.
Probably the last of his contract, right?
Samuel L. Jackson does look very tired.
And I just mean in terms of that character, because he has already fake died a couple times. So much so that we went to two different, we've been to two different fake Nick Fury gravestones in these movies. Because this was not the same one that they went to in Winter Soldier. It's a different one. So it's he's probably going to die soon. But that'll just leave even more room for Ben Mendelsohn to show up, be him again.
It's it's me. I'm the captain now.
That's right.
So... yeah.
And you guys, speaking of captains, what was the next one that got released? It was Spider-Man.
I have no idea what the order is.
What was the first one we watched?
Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle. Yeah, Blue Beetle had a trailer.
Uh-huh.
They're making a Blue Beetle movie, you guys. You guys remember Venom, right?
Yeah.
Is this a part of the DCU, or is this just some other shit? What's going on?
So it turns out this is part of the DCEU. It has been, I believe, confirmed that this is the first technical DCEU movie, as opposed to Flash that takes place in the current DCEU, and maybe will end with the possibility that he could cross over or whatever. This one, fully is just the DCEU. So, yeah.
Okay.
So in this version, Batman is a fascist.
Cool,
Unlike the regular version, where he's normal and brands criminals.
Yeah, why is Batman a fascist? I don't get that.
Because the guy has Twitter. George Lopez is on Twitter a lot, and you've seen that meme.
Also, I mean, have you ever read a Frank Miller comic? Because it was written
Yeah,
by
that's
Frank
true.
Miller. Batman kind of is a fascist.
That'd be really funny if this is that's like the take that we're going with in this universe is just the even more Dark Knight Return. Like, we doubled down on Snyder and made it into full fascist Batman this time.
It's really funny to me that Frank Miller wrote a bunch of really well-received comics where people were like, wow, he's really exploring the inherent fascism of superheroes in this fascinating way. And then he kept writing comics, and eventually people realized, oh no, he just thinks the fascism's good.
Yeah.
He's one of those fascism is cool guys.
Yeah. Did you... what else is fun in this one? George Lopez is in it. You guys remember him from the George Lopez show.
And the new one on Peacock, George and his daughter.
It's like George versus the Lopez or something like that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Good way to stay relevant, man. Just, keep it on the fucking pulse.
Listen, we all love Peacock. I have
Who
Peacock.
doesn't? Yeah, I have
where-
Peacock too.
That's where TV goes or something. I don't know. They probably have a saying like that.
That's where Poker Face goes. That's what I
Yeah.
swear.
That's true. Poker Face and all the reruns of like 30 Rock and stuff.
The entire WWE catalog.
Oh, which people
Now-
love because they didn't do a bad thing this week, right?
Wrestling's fine, right? Nothing to see here. It's all good.
I mean, listen, the Rey Mysterio Frosted Mini Wheats match does seem
God.
hilarious, and I love that about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, we all love the WWE. We can't wait for their next Saudi Arabia match.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that it's owned by Endeavor, we'll be probably getting one of those a month. Oh my god.
But yeah, wait, what else? Blue Beetle. He's in that. It's the kid from Karate Kid, or whatever it's called. What's the name called?
a really-
Smith Child, the
No,
no.
although maybe he'll be in the new one. He
You're
could
talking
be-
about the Cobra Kai show.
Yeah, there you go. Zolo Maridueña is the kid's name.
I think it was a really bold choice to make Blue Beetle green in this one.
Oh my god.
Diggins, I think your monitor might be busted. Because my Blue Beetle was red, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe I gotta get my eyes checked.
Yeah, I'm like, this Blue Beetle's edgy. No, for real, it looked not like good. Like it looked really. What's like the word? Like I don't know. Like I was inside like a cartoon filter. Like it's I don't know. It's you know what it is. It's the problem with like the live action Lion King movie. It's just off. There's something about it that's just off. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but. I was watching this and I'm like, I don't know, it just doesn't look. I don't know. Did you guys think it looked good?
I think it looked about as good as most of these do. I think it looked better than Ant-Man right about where Shazam kind of is.
Okay.
I think it looked fine. I don't, yeah. My only problem with this is the helmet. I think the helmet is too big because they actually went for like how big would it have to be to fit over his face, which I get. But I think there's a reason we pretend the Iron Man helmet is smaller than it is. Like,
Yes,
because
yeah.
it looks a little weird on his body.
Also, I think the Blue Beetle, like, whatever, like AI, like whatever. I don't like the. It's too much Friday from Iron Man, and Nando, you said this before recorded, but like less like Venom, which is like kind of what the vibe is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an alien monster thing.
Yeah, like they don't have a very like cool relationship. Like a lot of times, Blue Beetle just tells like Jaime Reyes to fuck off.
Yeah.
It's like I'm in control now. I'm Z Captain now.
Ooh, it's French.
Transition. Z Captain. Yes, Z Captain.
Yeah. Yeah. What else is important about this one?
I don't know.
Did I
Do you
say
think
it
it's
have
gonna be
George
good?
Lopez yet?
Oh right, yeah.
It
Do
has
you think it's
George
going to be
Lopez,
good?
you guys.
I do not.
I think it's going to be fine. I
Who's
think it'll probably
directing this?
George Lopez maybe.
Oh, now all right. I'll all in. If
Listen.
George Lopez is directing this movie, I'm all in.
I like George Lopez. I think that show is fun. I used to watch the shit out of that show. Who is directing this? I don't know, but it's got what's his name? I didn't see him in the trailer. I don't think so. Puss in Boots' own Harvey Gillen from What We Do in the
Oh.
Shadows, so he's in there.
Cool.
So, are you sold yet, DJ?
No, I'm pretty confident it's going to be bad. I'm also confident I'm not confident it'll come out. I don't feel like great about it.
Oh my goodness, impossible. That has never happened to a DC movie in the last one movie.
Oh right.
How dare you?
We're on a solid one movie streak.
Yeah, we got a good streak going. It is directed by Angel Manuel Soto, who is director of
Blue Beetle.
a couple of small things, mostly it seems like. Perhaps, I don't know, what are these? I don't know, like some indie films. Nothing I'd recognize. Also something that looks like a music video that I don't think they're still making videos about. Like, I don't think Menudo's still making records. Oh, it's a documentary about Menudo. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But, sometimes directors are new.
And that's fine. We love new directors.
I love when a celebrated indie director gets immediately handed a gigantic tentpole movie. That never turns out bad.
Correct.
I mean, directing's directing, Diggins. It's you direct a small indie film. You're directing AAA blockbusters. No difference.
The only point of directing indie films is to be able to get a Star Wars later. And they're able to do that, so that's great. Yeah,
You guys are right.
That's all any of us actually want. And then finally, speaking of direct a Star Wars later, Spider-Verse guys. Woo. They got fired from a Star Wars, right? Or something?
Yeah, because they were making it too good.
Yeah.
Disney was like, we can't have that.
So,
I don't
we
know
got
how their Solo would have turned out, but I don't imagine it could have been worse.
No, yeah, it'd probably been interesting. And we got another one of those. We got Into the Spider-Verse 2, Across the Spider-Verse. What do you guys think of that? We watched that trailer.
I think it looked like they took the first movie and were like, hey, you guys like that we put like Spider-Pig in it? We're putting everyone in it. They're all here.
They put that one joke from the Simpsons movie in the first Spider-Verse?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Love that. I
mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the background of this one. The actual pig one, yeah.
Could be somewhere. Yeah. I mean, I guess I just probably pretty confusing to put Spider-Ham and Spider-Pig in the same movie, though.
I mean, more confusing than 15 different characters named just Spider-Man, anything. It's less confusing. Like, good that you're named Spider-Ham and Spider-Pig, because we could tell you apart from a distance. And go, hey, Spider-Pig, and then they don't have to do the pointing meme.
If I could leverage a critique based on only this trailer, but I would like to, I have some concerns that it seems like, oh, we're going to do Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty, everyone loves that, right? We're going to do that. So it's like it was a multiverse, but now it's the Council of Spider-Man. So we're doing Rick and Morty. That's cool, right?
Hey, the Spider-Verse was a thing before Rick and Morty came out.
No, but it's like now they're doing Spider-Verse and like it's the Council of Spider-Man, right? Like, I don't mean, like, Rick and Morty in the sense of, like, a multiverse exists. I mean, taking the multiverse to, like, a conclusion of, like, what if they all had their own little society and got together and hung out? What hijinks would happen?
That's what I'm talking about. The Spider-Verse that was all the Spider-Man getting together and doing Spider-Man things existed before Rick and Morty.
Okay, well, no one's going to know that. I just, like, fair. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Rick and Morty stole the cultural, like, whatever for all that stuff.
Yeah, nothing has happened recently to change that.
Yep, still rocking 100% score in the eyes of the people. But yeah, I mean, Rick and Morty aside,
yeah, sure.
This looks fine.
I think it looks good. I liked the little hints about what the plot is going to be in this one. I was like, that's interesting, and if you do it well, I think it would be really good, like the first one. I mean, I'm not going to know how it is until I see the movie, but this one gives me some hope.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it for me. I don't hate it, but I am not completely sold on the movie from this trailer as just like a story. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
there's something missing. I'm sure it'll still be good, but I don't know. I feel like I've had a lot of moments not too long, like kind of recently, where I've seen a trailer and gone, this doesn't look that great. And then it hasn't been that great.
Well, to be fair, that's just like shooting fish in a barrel of Hollywood movies. You could sight unseen say any Hollywood movie is probably not going to be great, and most of the time you'll be right.
It's a great point.
That is a great point. I also think like and again, it's like, I get it that, like, no one, property has, like, a monopoly on all the jokes, but we're doing the, like, oh, Spider-Man's got some wacky villains. Isn't that fun?
But like, does he, though? Seems like Spider-Man has one wacky villain and then a bunch of misunderstandings or something. That may be part of why I'm kind of confused about this movie. Is because, yeah, it's like, what are we, like, I don't understand. I mean, not I don't understand. But, like, the idea that Miguel O'Hara and the rest of them are the bad guys is troubling to me.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, remember the bit where he's like, people don't have to die for us to be Spider-Man.
Right.
What about his uncle?
Yeah.
Did he forget that he had a Spider-Man origin story? That guy's name isn't Uncle Ben?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. But I'm sure it'll be good.
I mean, I'm not here to tell people what to watch, but I think a certain... Nando Cut had a very compelling video on whether or not we're dealing with superhero fatigue right now.
Oh, I thought we were thinking about a different one. The one where I said this movie should be a musical, which I still stand by.
Also good. No, I was doing
like
Joker
2.
Like Joker 2, Follow You Do. That's right. And
I'm more on board with the idea of a Joker 2 now. Like, honestly.
We did get 2 production stills. You guys, what's his name has his Joker makeup on.
Oh my god.
That's
it's
crazy.
happening. And what's her name is in an elevator. Incredible. Last one, you guys. Barbie. They're making a Barbie movie.
Yeah, I thought this trailer was like a nothing.
Wow.
Had some jokes.
Wow.
No, for real, man.
Wow.
Like, big nothing burger, man.
Wow, DJ is a certified hater.
Yeah.
Certified freak.
I go on Rotten Tomatoes
DJ.
to hate. That's where I'm at.
Diggins, what do you think of this as the person who's not a certified hater?
Yeah.
I thought this trailer was really good. It doesn't really tell you that much about what the movie, like what the plot is going to be, but it gives you a great sense of the vibe of the movie, which is it's going to be this like kind of out there, like really literal is not exactly the word I mean, but this like really going in on the Barbie aesthetic in a way that I think seems interesting and fun. And yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. I think it looks like it's going to be pretty good.
I'm not saying it's not going to be good. I just don't think there's like I don't know. The trailer didn't do it for me.
Did you have a
But I am
favorite
a
part of the
certified
trailer, Diggins?
Favorite part of the trailer? I didn't watch this with you guys, so I last saw it a few days ago, so I'm trying to remember.
Oh, apparently it's going to be a
Michael
great
Cera.
movie with this memorable trailer.
Wow, look at this hater. Look at
The
this
hating
certified
has
hater.
never been stronger. My goodness, yeah.
I don't think that's true, but
Somebody's drinking all their haterade lately.
Yeah.
it's good for you, full of vitamin C. And maybe my hating is just a filibuster for you, good sir. Maybe I'm being a great friend right now.
I think that haterade is full of salt, because I'm hearing a lot of salt from DJ right now.
Probably.
Very true.
I mean, honestly, I think that first shot of her in the high heels and then she steps out and
Oh my
she still has
God.
the Barbie feet pose.
Made me want to throw up. Something about those feet. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
Nando
so
gets
upsetting. No, only because it's like this Barbie movie, the way it's being played currently could be a horror movie. Like, it's just like, look at the horrible life this Barbie has to live where her feet are plastic weird feet. It did look cool though.
What
But
about you, Nando?
I think it's
also
really
a hater?
funny that what if the Kens were gay and wanted to do beat each other off. I've been waiting for a joke about that my whole life, and we finally got it.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
I think that is cool and new. No, I think I think the trailer in general I liked. I did not vibe with that joke, but overall I think it was a good trailer. I'm curious about what this ends up being, though. I'm still like, yeah, what is this? Because we don't know. Like you said, seems like she's going to the real world to meet Will Ferrell from the Lego Movie. I'm assuming because that's when a character goes to the real world to meet Will Ferrell. That's usually where they come from.
It's true. Yeah, it looks like it might be a kind of a meta thing going on.
Yeah. And also, I'm not sure about this. It almost kind of looked like he was like the president of the Barbie Corporation or something, perhaps. I don't know if I didn't go through this one frame by frame, but was he at like the Mattel offices?
I also did not go through frame by frame, so I don't know.
Yeah. I think he might be. So that's interesting.
I think it's interesting that Greta Gerwig's directing this movie. Like, did she sell out? Did she get her bajillion dollars? Or does she have something to say?
I mean, those could both be true. Those things are not in tension with each other.
I guess.
True.
But when you make your bajillion dollars, usually it kind of compromises you, I feel like.
I mean, it's possible. It
has-
depends on how much creative freedom she has.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
Hasbro's like, you gotta sell fucking 11,000 Barbie units if you even want
I'm betting
fractional
Barbie.
bonus.
I'm betting Hasbro didn't go, hey, Greta Gerwig, make a subversive Barbie movie that makes Barbie look stupid, okay? Like, I feel like that doesn't feel like what we got, or what she
Right.
was told to do, even though it may be what we got. I don't know how subversive it is, but it feels like it could have something to say about Barbie. I don't know. We'll
Guys,
find out.
has Hasbro gone woke?
Oh,
or
my
Mattel
God.
or whoever the fuck it is?
Pretty sure it's Mattel for Barbie.
All right.
Yeah.
Has Mattel gone woke?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because
shame.
I mean,
They're-
all the elites in society are woke. That's because
Exactly.
the wokerati control all aspects of human society these days. That's why being anti-woke is really being a brave truth teller.
That's right. Now, yeah, Mattel makes Barbie. Yeah. Is it do we think this movie is going to be, out of these four things we just watched the trailers is for, and pretending Secret Invasion is a movie, because that's probably what it is, a 2-hour movie cut into 6 little pieces, which thing will be the best movie?
Probably. So wait, Blue Beetle, Barbie, Secret Invasion, and
Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse. Probably Spider-Verse.
Diggins, what do you think?
I don't know. It's a tough choice between Spider-Verse and Barbie for me. They both look good. They both look real good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning towards just based on the trailer. I don't know.
You're leaning
I could
towards
be convinced.
Blue Beetle.
I could be convinced Blue Beetle is good. I don't know what it is.
No.
It might be.
I'm mostly with you on Blue Beetle, where it looks like it's fine. I don't know that it looks like anything I'm going to love.
You loved Venom. It's Venom again. More of that. You know, so you're gonna love it. No, I don't know. Spider-Verse will probably be the best one by virtue of just looking the most interesting. But
yeah,
I could see it going in a bunch of directions.
You can really tell that those filmmakers watched that new Puss in Boots. Am I right?
And the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer. Yeah. It's but it is tricky with movies like this because it's like, what is not like what is real, but like what I guess. Like when you watch a movie like this, like the Spider-Verse trailer, or maybe not Blue Beetle, because that one it's part of a cinematic universe, but that doesn't exist. It like definitely won't by the time that comes out. But part of me is like, how much of this, if I saw this Spider-Verse trailer for the first time, having not seen the first one, would I be like, this looks like a good movie? Or is my love for it based on its connection to Spider-Verse?
I mean, that's 100% where I'm at.
I don't know.
I think if it's not for Spider-Verse OG, I'm like, oh, this movie, I don't know.
I don't know. I think that is a criticism much, much more effectively lobbed at this Secret Invasion trailer than the Spider-Verse trailer.
Yeah. Secret Invasion is not in contention for me for the best one. Well, or I mean,
for worst.
No, it could be the best one. I could also see Barbie being not as interesting as it seems, and I could see Blue Beetle not being very good. Pretty much any of them except for Spider-Verse. But like, not the trailer just is not grabbing me.
I get it, man. I'm with you.
Like, okay, so what do we think Miles O'Hara is actually mad about?
Miguel O'Hara?
Miguel O'Hara, Jesus, yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited to find out when I watch the movie.
He seems to be mad about Spider-Man No Way Home and all the cameos, right? Which I get. It was a lot of fan service. But besides that, I'm like, they're all chasing after him.
Oh, guys, it's staring us right in the face. He's mad that people don't go to the movies anymore.
Oh, and that people stop working.
Yes,
Spider-Man's quiet quitting, and he's on that Hustle Grind set, and he won't let him. Yeah,
it's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also,
we'll have to go to the movies in person, brave the elements to find out.
That's right. Well, I'll have to take a big breath before I get into the movie theater, and just hold it, and then you're good. Mm-hmm. Speaking of bravery, we got a movie to talk about this week.
Oh my gosh.
Pixar's Brave?
Pixar's Brave, yeah. Pixar's Brave. Well, that's another trailer. Was that Elemental came out this week, but it was like right. It was a little while ago.
Hey guys. What if Elements had feelings, or like whatever the premise for these movies are always?
I mean, listen, I saw someone make the point that like as an idea it's nice, but as a concept, maybe fire and water shouldn't date. I don't know.
It's just Romeo and Juliet. That's all this is.
Well, yeah, but one is allergic to the other. Like it will. If they hug, does the fire one just die?
But, Nando, don't you think their romance is going to be really steamy?
Ooh, I hope so. I hope this is the first steamy Pixar movie.
Oh!
Yeah. Full frontal fire girl or whatever.
I think there's going to be full penetration.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. You guys are gross.
Now, you know what? This is my most anticipated movie of the year. I don't know. I think it might be good. But, yeah, it is just weird because, like, as a metaphor, it's like, I don't know if it's as much prejudice as just fire is put out by water.
Fire indeed hot.
Yeah, but we will see. But you guys, speaking of Brave, let's talk about a movie that, like Brave, has Scottish people in it. I don't know. Do any actors cross over in both Hugh Grant and Brave?
I have no idea. I don't think so, but don't quote me.
Right? He's like the only one, I feel like. But
yeah, he's the dad. I forgot the dad goes, Merida, you can't possibly go on the hunt. It's unseemly, Merida. Please, just stay with your mother and be a good match for the incoming prince. Please, I implore you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
So we didn't get what's his name. We didn't get Hugh Grant, but we got the poor man's Hugh Grant. Craig Ferguson was in that one. He was in Brave, but no, I like Craig Ferguson. He's cool. But
goddamn right.
I would love to see a Craig Ferguson "Thank you for coming to the movies" promo. We'll get to it, but
he would be all it's like, "Thank you so much for the movies. You're such heroes."
It'd be really sarcastic, and also I'd also be like, he does that. He genuinely is happy I went to the movies or something. He's just got it. I love him. But you guys, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
You guys.
Uh-huh.
It came out. We got a Dungeons and Dragons movie. What is this? 10? No, gotta be more than 10.
22
something years later.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
23 years later. Unless
We're
you count
solid
the
decades.
unless you count the direct-to-DVD sequels to the original.
Right,
Which
which
I
I did
don't.
not know about until this week. I would learn about them for the first time. I haven't
mentioned
seen them,
on
but
the podcast we did on that movie.
no, sure.
I don't listen to you.
I
That
found
makes
them
sense.
like by accident, like looking at the internet because I wanted to check on something else that was referenced in this movie, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I didn't know I knew they were real, but I don't know. Hearing something come out of your mouth and seeing it in person, the two things together make me go, "Oh, this is real." As opposed to like just seeing it in person, I'm like, "Am I hallucinating?" And then just hearing you say it, I'm like, "Am I hallucinating?" But with my ears, but with both, it's like that's gonna be one fancy hallucination. Anyway, you guys,
Oral hallucinations are real.
yeah. Speaking of not hallucinations, but speaking of seeing things that aren't really there, let's talk about Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, you guys.
Yes.
So Diggins, or no, DJ is the IMDb master.
It's a me. Wait, no,
me.
I did that wrong. It's me. It's me.
People don't talk like that in this movie, do they?
Hugh Grant sometimes.
I feel like a Hugh Grant is like, well, it's me.
That's true.
Like he's he's got that weird kind of British smugness that we love
That's
him for
true.
so much. You know what, Hugh
do
Grant?
love
He always just screams "bear." That's his main line from stuff.
But it's me. It's me. Just regular me.
It's you. You're the problem. It's you. That's
Yes.
I can't hear the word "it's me" without that coming up. Also, there should have been a scene where Hugh Grant was like, "Owl Bear, come here. Come bring my picture puzzle back to me." But he didn't do it. What a jerk.
So yeah.
But hey, at least he ends this movie like he does that other movie.
I know, right? Every movie with him should end in that same way.
Come on, DJ, why aren't you talking about the IMDb?
Also, did he
Right.
have a crossbow in that other movie too?
I don't recall.
I feel like he was shooting something at them, but it wasn't a gun. I got it on my computer. I'll look at it real quick. Anyway, DJ.
Hi.
Hi. IMDb summary. What do you got?
I'm sorry. Okay. So, guys, every week we have a game that's the IMDb, B is the spelling bee, in where we, two of us have to guess what the IMDb summary is for the movie we're covering. And you guys must be wondering, well, wait, how do they come up with these IMDb summaries? And I'm going to tell you how they do it. So, essentially, a long time ago, there was one Red Wizard, and he was like the Red Wizard in charge of making all of the IMDb summaries. But also, he turned the actors in the movies into zombies. So a band of heroes got together and was like, guys, what if we wrote the IMDb summaries instead of the Red Wizard? And they're like, all right, we'll do that. But in order to do that, they had to find the core movie film in which to watch to base summaries off of, because the Red Wizard had them all. So they go on an epic quest. They meet amazing characters along the way. They assemble as a team and they get together. Also, the main guy has a daughter. It's very important. And they get the movies and they defeat the Red Wizard. And now it's a communal group of people. All of the people get to decide what the IMDb summaries are. So I have the democratically decided, elected upon IMDb summary for Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
Fantastic. Also, I have an update, you guys.
Yeah, what's up?
So there is no. He does not have a sword. But he does have he doesn't have a crossbow. He has a sword, and then the grandma gets a gun. That's like a gun for like a little, like, what's the word? Like a carnival gun, because it's on the carnival train in Paddington too. In case anyone's wondering.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But okay, DJ, so what's this one like?
Yeah. Okay, so I would say it is accurate. I think it's accurate. I'm sorry if it's super vague. I don't want to give too much away. It's very middle. It's not great, but it's not bad, but it is accurate, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, who gets to decide whether or not to go first?
Diggins
I
does.
believe it's a me.
Oh, cool. No. Next week. Damn it, Diggins.
I'm going to choose to go first.
Okay.
Thank God.
Hit it up.
The former Harper Edgin and his partner in crime Holga must assemble a team to steal or to rob a former friend and foil a plot that endangers all of Faerun.
Okay.
Okay.
Nando.
I thought about this on the way over. This is very important. because if I don't get this right, there's no way I'm winning a tiebreaker against Diggins in this movie. So here we go. And I'm glad it's kind of middling because that's about what I was thinking. A bard, a barbarian, a sorcerer, and a druid. I'm leaving out the paladin because he's not with the beginning. Go on a quest to stop an old friend and save the kingdom of Neverwinter. Is that what it's called?
It is called Neverwinter. However, it's not a kingdom.
I was trying to Google
city.
this. Is it okay? Yeah. So
all right.
I'll just say save Nevermore, and I'll ignore. I mean, you can ding me if I got everything right, but yeah.
All right. So okay, you both did awful. You both did super terrible. However, one of you had like a single word correct, and the other person had no words correct. So, I mean, we can go off that, or we could start fucking around with tiebreakers.
I mean, I'd love a tiebreaker.
I'll take a tiebreaker. I have a feeling my word was right, and I bet it's quest. But I still will take a tiebreaker. Out of dignity. I don't know why it's out of dignity, but I have so much dignity. We're
gonna do my favorite tiebreakers, right? Anything that's like D&D related, Diggins will crush. So
this is the worst kind of discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
No, come on. We gotta have some kind of level playing field.
I disagree. No, do whatever you're gonna do.
All right. There are a lot of like words that you missed that like could have gotten I think were like key words. And here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to give you each a chance to just like say key words that you think are in the summary. You'll each get 3 to go back and forth. I'm not gonna tell you whether or not you got them, and then at the end we'll figure it out. All right.
Okay.
And try not to repeat words you already said. Like Nando, yes, you already said quest, so try and not, double dip with quest because it won't help. So,
gotcha.
Diggins, you get to go first.
Magic.
Okay, Nando.
Okay, this is like a phrase or like a clause, but some of it's connected by dashes.
That's fine. Yeah.
Role-playing game.
Okay, Diggins.
World famous.
God damn it, Nando.
Oh, I don't know if we've used this word. I'm gonna say party.
Okay. All right. This last one's Diggins and then Nando.
Evil.
Okay. And Nando.
Dragon.
Man, you guys had some great words. None of them were in the song.
Yeah.
It's like you guys are just like jumping around the words. All right. Damn it. Okay. I got a great tiebreaker.
Fantastic.
All right. How familiar are you guys with the poster?
Somewhat.
Pretty much not at all.
Great. All right.
I'm sure I've seen it. Like, is it? I'm assuming it's one with everybody's head on it or some shit.
Sure. But what I want you to do is, I want you, starting with who you guys think the main character is, I want you to go, let's say, clockwise, and I want you to tell me the order of the characters that are in it.
Clockwise? Are they all in a circle?
Yeah, what do you mean clockwise?
Yeah, they're like, because they're all kind of like staring down, like at you, the audience, or like the viewer.
It's like the time they open up the portal and I'll look down it. It's that image.
Yes.
Is it arranged is it arranged in a way that is, are we just taking stabs at guys here?
I mean, I want you to give me the order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it start at whatever character we start with?
We can do it like that. You can start with whoever and then go clockwise. It's fine. I'm good with that.
Okay. Wait, so are we both giving you our full list, or are we doing it like one at a time? Guess.
Both give me your full list, right?
Yeah.
It's not like it'll matter.
Do I get extra points if I remember the name of every character? A thing there's no way Nando does?
Not even close. I couldn't name a single character. I could name one character. And even that, I'm kind of iffy on what Hugh Grant's guy's name was, but his name was like a word.
Just describe it the best way you know how. I'm gonna have Diggins go first, and again, it's any order you want to say, but you got to go clockwise, and we'll see whoever gets the closest.
Okay, I'm gonna go Edgin.
Okay.
Holga.
Okay.
Doric.
You gotta tell me who these people are. I know Edgin and Holga, but you gotta like.
Wow.
I think Doric is the fancy one.
Edgin is Chris Pine.
No, I know Edgin and Holga. I know, yes.
Well, I'm doing it for the audience, because maybe some of them are as inattentive as you.
That's fair.
Edgin, Chris Pine. Holga, Michelle Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Doric, Sophia Lillis.
Yep.
Forge Fitzwilliam, Hugh Grant, Sophina Daisy Head, Simon Justice Smith.
Wait, Sophina?
The daughter.
Oh,
No,
she's not in my
incorrect.
circle.
Wait, who?
Sophina is the villain.
Oh, yeah, she's also in my circle.
Okay.
I've got...
All right, go, Nando.
So it's clockwise starting with Chris Pine, right? That's what we're doing? Okay.
Yep.
Pine, Rodriguez, Smith, redhead name I already forgot, Sophia Lillis, Hugh Grant, and Bridgerton.
I think the fact that I remember these names should automatically make me win.
No, Nando wins because he had all 6 characters. You left off Bridgerton.
I think this is some horse shit. I remember their names.
Bridgerton is his name. You
it
walk
makes you
down
feel-
the street and you
Regé
scream...
Jean Page, who is Zank.
I had Nando subtitles on, and they were all just named after their characters. Because I cannot... All the names sound the same to me, so...
We said, way too much...
I go to a special screening at 2 p.m. with a bunch of dorks like me, and it says on the bottom, this one's the guy Star Trek.
This game was rigged because DJ deliberately picked games he knew I'd be bad at.
Okay, listen. All right, for a couple things. So Nando wins, and we're going to go over a few things. One, Diggins, you had no details right of the summary. Nando had one, the word quest.
It was
the
quest.
word quest.
I knew it.
Yeah, no, like...
Look at that.
And I didn't want to give you off that alone because, again, you both were so wrong. So, Diggins, I gave you a fair shake. So I don't want to hear it,
You didn't give me a fair shake. You gave me games you deliberately picked for me to be bad at because so many of them I would be good at.
Listen, Dominion voting systems were rigged. I was very fair, and I think I gave everyone a fair shot. And when it came to the poster, you had a person who wasn't on the poster, and Nando had all the people.
I don't think deliberately picking things I would be bad at counts as a fair shot. But whatever. The people will know. The people will know that I was robbed.
Deliberately picking things you're bad at versus deliberately picking things we both have an even shot at, I think, is more like what DJ did. And for that reason, I respect this choice.
And not going, oh, well, you know what? Nando said one word correct in the summary, and you said 0, Diggins, and being like, you know what? Let's still go to a tiebreaker.
What was the summary? Also, what is the circle?
Oh, it's, so it's weird because if you go clockwise, it starts with Chris Pine, and then goes to Bridgerton, Smith, Druid, Hugh Grant, and then Michelle Rodriguez.
Oh, okay, so I had 4 out of 5. Or 4 out of 6.
No, I was keeping track. I mean, it helped that Diggins got one wrong, but again, I thought I was a fair and honest broker.
This is the biggest robbery that this has ever been perpetrated on this podcast.
I mean,
probably.
This is the majority opinion was that you made the right decision, and
look. It's going to bite me next week when I have to do the Mario summary, and Diggins is going to be like, nope, not DJ loses or whatever. We let the losers become the judges.
Real quick right now.
I was going to say, wait, I don't get to do it. DJ, what are you talking about?
What?
Oh, you're going to love the summary for this next week. I can't wait.
Let me read the D&D summary.
Okay. Yeah, what was it?
All right. A charming thief and a band of unlikely adventurers embark on an epic quest to retrieve a lost relic, but things go dangerously awry when they run afoul of the wrong people.
Oh, yeah, so they didn't really do it good.
It's accurate. That is what happens.
I disagree, DJ. I don't think that is what happens.
Wait, what?
That's what happens in the first, 10 minutes of the movie, but it's not the plot of the movie.
That's why I said it was middling. I said middling but accurate. It's not inaccurate, but I think pretty middling.
I think it is inaccurate because it's not the movie, it is the setup for the movie.
Well,
yeah, I'm with DJ, or I'm with Diggins on this one. I don't think it's the worst summary ever. Well, no, I still won, but I don't think it's the worst summary ever, but I do think this movie, if that's what you're expecting. Also, in this version of the movie, the thief is Chris Pine.
Yeah, which is weird, but
yeah, that's a word I never would use to describe him, even though technically it is what he is. But in a universe where there are so many other words that are more specific, I'm surprised they didn't just go with Bard or whatever, or
or
whatever Dickens said. Former
between the general heist structure and what just happened on this podcast, I guess thievery is pretty ingrained into this movie.
You know what? Yeah. And to be fair, it is called Honor Among Thieves, so I guess there's that. But yeah, it's an interesting summary.
Diggins, you'll have your justice next week when you beat me. You'll have your Justice Smith when you beat me into the ground next week.
Yeah.
You will have it. I promise you will have your just desserts. Now I'll have my just desserts, whatever the fuck that means.
Now, DJ, as the loser, does Diggins have to do something?
He does. He has to. Right. Also, a detailed movie he just saw, by the way.
Thank God. Yeah.
So
mine would have been bad.
Yeah, we saw it like last week, so honestly, it should be you detailing this, Diggins, because you just saw the movie.
I think it's well established that I'm way better at doing this than you two, but I still deserve.
That's why we keep picking you to lose.
That's why you keep rigging it. Yeah.
Nando and I just don't want to do it, so we have a pact. We're just like, oh, Diggins is going to do it.
I want to point out there have been times I've done it where I hadn't just seen the movie, and I was still generally better.
Oh my god!
No one disagrees with you.
Incredible. Vote everybody on which one is best. Everybody, get on your little computers now and vote.
I think that the environment around the IMDb summaries got a little too hostile. I think we just got to bring it back. It's supposed to be fun. It's a fun little game we play.
Yeah, we can't have any PvP on this podcast,
That's true.
All right.
We're not monsters.
So, movie starts at here's a fun trivia that could have maybe been a tiebreaker. Do any of you know the name of this prison they're at, which is not mentioned in the movie?
Oh, hell no.
Arkham.
Oh, it's called Revel's End, and it is a prison that does exist in the setting of Faerun. Way up in the north of Icewind Dale.
That's a good name for a prison.
Is a prison used by the Lord's Alliance to send inconvenient prisoners. So yeah, in the prison of Revel's End, we see a big orc guy get brought to jail, but it turns out the big orc guy is not who we're focusing on. It's his new cellmates, Edgin and Holga, or if you're Nando and DJ, Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez.
And we are.
I am. At least.
Who beat him up because he tries to hit on Michelle Rodriguez. Then they have their parole hearing to potentially get a pardon for their crimes, where we get to hear what their crimes even were. Because Chris Pine spins a story about what happened, which is to say that he used to be a harper, a faction of spies and other clandestine adventurers who secretly work for the good and betterment of the Sword Coast, which is the general area of the world that they're in. But he didn't make a lot of money as a harper, and he couldn't afford a lot of nice things for his wife and his little baby. And then, unfortunately, one day, he had brought in a red wizard of Fae, a notorious group of necromancers / undead, and that red wizard busted out, tracked down Edgin's family, and killed his wife, but his wife managed to use their secret hidey hole to save his daughter. He spirals and is doing real bad, but Holga meets him and decides to help him raise the baby. Not in a romantic sense, they're only friends, but they both raise the daughter together. And they're having a good time. They put together a crew of crack thieves. It's them, Simon Omar, the sorcerer, played by Justice Smith, and Forge Fitzwilliam, the rogue, played by Hugh Grant. And they do good jobs. They only steal from the rich. They don't give to the poor unless you count themselves, but they only steal from the rich and they never hurt people. But then one day they get hired by the wizard Sophina to steal something from the Harper's vault. And originally Edgin doesn't want to do this, but Forge convinces him to, because in the Harper's vault is the Tablet of Reawakening, which will let him raise his wife from the dead, even though she was killed by a magic blade that prevents resurrection, normally. So they agree to do it, but Sophina betrays them, kills a bunch of the guards, and then uses a spell to strand everybody except for Simon and Forge in the vault. And Simon and Edgin and Holga get arrested, and that's why they're in the prison. He gives a nice speech about wanting to be there for his daughter. The parole board is about to pass their sentence, but at that moment, a missing parole board member who is an Arakokra, which is to say a bird person.
Bird person? From Rick and Morty?
Oh, yep. Rick and Morty, all the movies these days, am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's been a whole running joke about how he really wanted this bird person to be there, which if you're familiar with D&D, you might think because Aarakocra are generally temperamentally against imprisonment and prefer freewheeling lives of freedom. So you think, he would be especially receptive to a parole hearing. But no, they just grab him and jump out a window so he'll fly down to the ground and then they can run away.
Yeah, I was confused by that bit. Not that confused, but when they kept saying, like, I hope Jarnathan's here, I was like, is that the name of Hugh Grant's guy? And then it wasn't.
Nope. Hugh Grant is a human, not an Aarakocra.
It's true.
Anyway, yeah, so they bust out of there. They make it back down to the Sword Coast. And they're like, we got to go find all our old guys. Because Edgin had given Forge the Tablet of Reawakening and asked him to take care of his daughter while he was in prison. So they go find Forge, who it turns out is now the Lord of Neverwinter, one of the famous cities on the Sword Coast. And they get a meeting with him. They see his daughter again. She's a little cold to Edgin, but he's still excited to see her. Until they go have their meeting with Forge, where it turns out, A, he's still working with Sofina, and B, he's lied to Edgin's daughter and told her that he only went to steal from the Harpers for money, and the tablet that he's after now is a tablet of riches, not something to bring back her mom. So she, for that reason, has a dim opinion of Edgin and does not believe him when he tries to say that that's not true. And when she leaves, Forge and Sofina kidnap or capture them and plan to turn them... Well, Forge wants to turn them in for the bounty. Sofina secretly tells the guard to kill them instead. But they escape before the guards kill them, and they decide to put together a new crew to steal the tablet and Edgin's daughter back from Forge. So they go find Simon, who made it out and is now doing petty scams. They get him to come in on it. And he suggests a druid named Doric, who could also help, who he used to try to date, but she thought he had too little self-confidence. So they recruit the two of them, and they're like, okay, we can do this. We just gotta find out what the stuff is. So Doric uses her wild shape ability to infiltrate Neverwinter Castle, where she finds out about the wards and other protections on the vault, and then narrowly escapes being found out when Sofina notices the magic being used to transform her body to wild shape, rather. Then Simon, Justice Smith, is like, oh no, the ward they have on the vault is way too powerful. I can't undo that. So they decide to look for the Helmet of Disjunction, a magical artifact that allows you to basically disable all magic in a wide radius around yourself, which they are able to locate because it was last seen in a battle that many members of Holga's tribe participated in. So they use the spell Speak with Dead to ask a bunch of corpses from that battle some questions until they find out that the paladin Zank of Thay was the one who left the battlefield with the helmet. They go find him. He doesn't want to help them at first, but then they tell him why they want it, and he's like, that's not a bad reason. So he makes Edgin promise that he's going to give all the money in the vault away to the people of Neverwinter, and then says he'll help them. They go down to the Underdark, which is basically just like beneath the surface of the earth in Faerun, across pretty much the entire continent, are these gigantic underground caverns where a lot of horrible monsters live. So they go down to an old gnomish city down there that's been abandoned, which is where Zank stashed the Helmet of Disjunction. They're pursued by some Thayan assassins, who they fight off, and then they see Thembershoud, the red dragon, who attempts to eat them. He does eat the Thayan assassins, but they escape with some quick thinking by Edgin. And now with the helmet... And Zank wishes them luck and then doesn't join them on the rest of the quest because he's just a guest party member NPC.
Damn right.
So now with the helmet, they decide they're going to go do it, except Simon can't attune to the helmet. It keeps rejecting him. And everyone gets mad at Edgin because Simon thought that would happen the whole time, but Edgin made him not tell the others. And now everyone's like, what are we going to do now? And he's like, gives a big speech about how they're all failures, but they got to keep trying. So everyone decides to keep trying. They use a portal staff that they got earlier to sneak into the vault, or they try to. Only Doric gets into the vault that way because the painting falls on the floor and they can't push it up because that's not how portals work. The rest of them stick with the original plan. Simon, last minute, successfully attunes to the Helm of Disjunction. They disable the wards on the vault and they go inside, but it turns out the vault is empty. And where Doric woke up is a completely different place underneath the arena where Forge is holding, was it the Festival of the High Sun, which is like a deadly competition where people are loosed into an arena full of monsters and they have to try to survive. Which he has used as a lure to bring in a bunch of rich people from the other cities of the Sword Coast so he can steal all their money. So they are put in the arena with all the other competitors, and after narrowly escaping a displacer beast, they manage to use a gelatinous cube to get underneath the arena where all the treasure is, go to the boat that Forge is planning to use to run away from the city of Neverwinter with all his ill-gotten gains. And that also happens to be where Edgin's daughter is, because Forge, up until this point, seems like he genuinely likes her and wants to be her dad. Although here it turns out that he likes money more, because he threatens to kill her so that they'll give him all the money, but he gets hit in the face with a potato, and they run off with the boat and all the money and the daughter. The daughter forgives him and now believes that he was telling the truth about all the stuff, but he still apologizes for being a bad dad because he learned something. And as they're sailing away into the sunset with all their money, they see dark storm clouds gathering over Neverwinter because Sofina stole a magic horn from the vault of the Harpers, and she's using it to turn everyone in Neverwinter into undead thralls under her command, just like Zaz Tam, the Lich Overlord of Thay, did 100 years ago. So they reluctantly decide to go back to Neverwinter. They spread the riches all over the city so that people will leave the arena before they can be turned into monsters. And then
Which
they have
promise to do.
Which they promise to do. And then they have a big fight with Sofina, where she does all her cool lich wizard magic, but they manage to outsmart her and put an anti-magic cuff on her, so she can't do anything, and then she gets beat up. Although if she were a lich, she would still have some pretty formidable racial abilities. It wouldn't be a total cakewalk, although it would be a lot easier.
Yeah, they just did like the puny god from Avengers.
They did.
Just like,
well, we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah.
But yeah, they won. Lord Dagult Neverember, the true ruler of Neverwinter, wakes up from the sickness Sofina put him in. He awards all our heroes, grants them full pardons for their crimes, and they get to be super cool guys now. And Forge goes to Revel's End, where he turns out the whole movie has been him pleading his case to the parole board, and they deny. He tries to do the escape trick with the Aarakocra, but they bricked up that window because they learned their lesson, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
good job, Diggins. You are truly the best at this.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. But you know what? Did a good enough job. Good enough for me. That's what I say.
That's what Nando always says. He goes, just good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's the most I go for, is good enough. I never
Exactly.
go for better than good enough.
Nando goes to a restaurant. They bring him soup hot soup he ordered cold. He's like, you know what? Good enough for me.
You know what? Yep. That is soup technically.
If I ordered a cold soup and they brought it to me hot, I would be really confused.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, it is.
Either way, it gets at the intent.
It's not good when they do it. I'm not a huge fan, but like I'll suffer through a below average soup experience. Be nice, you know. But so that's the whole thing. I forgot that it's all his like little story.
Well, not the whole thing, right? Because he wouldn't know the parts he wasn't there for.
And he would impart the end where he was bad, I assume. I feel like they would end with him being secretly mind controlled or something, and they'd be like, I don't think that last part happened.
No, I mean, that's definitely not what the movie is, but it transitions into that in the end, like the movie was.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So, I get to say what I think the movie is.
Absolutely not. I get to say that I like the movie because I liked it. Yeah. So here we go. As the winner, it's the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie they've made in the last couple of years. It's going to hold that title for a suspiciously short amount of time. Usually movies get to be the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie for at least a year, but this one probably won't be. Although who knows, maybe it will be better than Guardians 2. But hey, man.
If it's better than Guardians 2, that means it is currently the best Guardians movie.
Excuse me, better than Guardians 3, yeah. But overall, I think we are probably. I think this is about as solid of a movie as we've seen in a while. It, especially of recent days, without giving too much away, there's some things that this movie does that I'm like, yeah, you know what? You know, you're not reinventing the wheel here, but you do have to do some of those things. Otherwise, who cares? And it does them, and I appreciate that. Like, I think some of the things this movie does, I guess, don't feel like checking boxes necessarily, but it's like, yeah, this movie's not reinventing, you know, the whole filmmaking structure, but it is like, it's solid. And all the leads are good. The action's pretty good. As someone who doesn't know a goddamn thing about any of these guys, I was able to pretty much keep it together, except for some of the names I was a little confused by, but whatever. It's better than I expected for a movie like this, where it's like, you don't know what all these things are. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. So overall, yeah, I think this movie's pretty great. Probably my favorite movie of this year so far, right? Like, what's it competing against? Mithrigan, probably. Yeah, and it's got Hugh Grant. I like Hugh Grant a lot, so that helped.
To be fair, Mithrigan is pretty stiff competition.
It's tough, right? Because that's the only other movie I feel like I've seen this year that I've been like at least in the theater or like there's been movies I've watched this year, but I think all of them came out last year. But yeah, it's the only one that I've seen this year that I've been like, wow, that was all around great time, you know, fun for the whole family. And like, I don't think there was that much of that this year. There were a lot of movies that I was like, yeah, that was okay. Or like, you know, it's like, it's fine.
I mean, technically, I saw Puss in Boots this year, but it is a last year movie.
You know what? I guess I'd be judging it against maybe Creed, which I can't like anymore for reasons, and then John Wick, which I think I like this. I definitely like this more than John Wick. I didn't see 80 for Brady, didn't see Knock at the Cabin, didn't really care for Plane. Yeah, it's probably my favorite movie this year. Yeah. What about you, DJ?
Nope.
Diggins.
Third.
Yeah, Diggins, what did you think of this movie?
I don't know that it's the best Guardians movie right now, which is to say I might like the Guardians 1 and 2 better.
Oh, sure. I think I may have
like within
that.
The last year.
Best one that's been released in the last 4 or 5 years.
Oh,
Since
sure,
2017. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. It's the best Guardians movie since then.
And I think they've taken other studios have tried to make Guardians movies that didn't work. In the same vein as this. So like this is something that it's not a subgenre necessarily, but it is an achievement.
Yeah. And I agree a lot with what you were saying about like, well, you're not reinventing the wheel, but you're like doing it good. It reminds me of kind of early Marvel movies when they were like still had to put in the work to make you care about the characters and the world and everything. So they did.
How dare you?
Which is
you didn't like Quaz? You say another negative thing about Quaz in this episode.
Listen, William Jackson Harper is a treasure, but I don't know about Quaz. But no, it's yeah, they do a lot of like really good just base level character work for most of the characters, maybe not all of them. But it was a movie where I watched it and I was like, I see where this character arc is going. And they actually did it. And they actually like followed through with all the beats of that. And then it got to the end when like the character does the thing that shows he learned his lesson. And I was actually kind of like, damn, you know what? This is kind of getting me. This is pretty good. Oh, I completely left out of the summary. I'm so sorry, listeners. After the fight with Sofina, Holga, Michelle Rodriguez's character.
Oh, right.
is so this is a big spoiler if you skip the summary but are like, oh no, spoiler, don't listen to the next like 10 seconds. She turns out she was killed during the fight, but Edgin decides to use the resurrection tablet to revive her instead of his wife, because she was also killed by a magic red wizard blade. That means she can't be resurrected. Because he realizes that Holga has been more of a mother to his daughter than his wife had, because she died very early in her life, and it would mean more to his daughter to bring Holga back than his wife. So that's what he does, which is actually a nice moment, I felt, and I actually got a little emotional. And, you know, I think I said this off mic, there's jokes in this movie. I can't believe it. So few of these movies have jokes anymore. They just have people pointing out that a silly thing happened. And it looks pretty good. I mean, some of the CGI is a little dodgy, but they mix in like good practical effects. If you've seen some behind the scenes stuff, that helps a lot in like making it feel more real. And yeah, no, it's just a really solid like action blockbuster Hollywood movie. And I think they do the D&D homages well and like do the setting well, in that they don't get too bogged down in the details. They just have things show up, and if you know what they are and know D&D well, you can be like, oh, it's that thing. But if you don't, it's like, I don't know, she summoned a big magic hand to fight him, and that just seems like a perfectly normal thing she would be able to do, and you don't have any questions about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I look at that and I'm like, oh man, she cast Bigby's hand. But it doesn't make any difference to Nando that he doesn't have no idea what Bigby's hand is.
I know what Big Beast is. A big old, like, little rocks. A lot of... Oh, no, hers is a big old smoke. It's that thing that Doctor Strange uses to pick up the lamppost in Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah, Simon cast Maximilian's Earthen Grasp.
Oh, right. I always get those two confused.
That's the little rocks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like I said, like I mentioned earlier, I know that prison was Revel's End. It doesn't matter if you don't know that, though. It's just a neat little thing for those of you who are big nerds who know too much about D&D. So yeah, I thought it was a surprisingly successful execution of a D&D movie, and I was pretty happy with it. It's not amazing, it didn't blow me away, but for what it's trying to be, I think it's quite successful. What about you, DJ?
I fully agree with you guys. It's awesome. Not too inside baseball. Like I echo both of your comments. I don't have anything to add. So what I want to do with my time is I want to tell you guys about my movie theater experience.
I cannot wait.
Which this stuff just gets crazier and crazier. All right, so I go in the middle of the day. I go with Michelle and a friend of ours. It's a little 3-person cadre. We're all D&D people. We're all very excited. It's middle of the day on a Friday because we were able to get that to work. So basically empty theater. It's us, 2 guys behind us, and then like 4 teenagers diagonal in front of us. So the teenagers like being teenagers, but like, it wasn't too bad when the movie started.
Were they like on their phone being teenagers, or were they just chatting with each other?
Chatting being teenagers.
Okay.
But at some point, like, all hell broke loose. Like, there was one point where they were like talking, and like the guys behind us were like really serious. So they was like, "Hey, shut up! Don't say anything." The kids were like, "All right, geez." They turned around and looked at us. I'm like, no, the guy's behind us. You guys, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not getting into a fight with teenagers.
No. They got nothing to lose.
Then
and they'll say something really cutting yet devastating to you, and you'll never be the same.
Yeah. Or like my biggest fear is like they'll start like beating me up, and like you can't like beat them up back, so you just get your ass kicked by a teenager. Like, did they know that they could do that? Like, they could just beat up adults with no repercussions?
Yeah,
they don't. They should. They should.
I mean, listen, if you're on some of the city specific subreddits I'm on, people love to talk about how the damn teenagers. I mean, listen, there seems to be some situations where teenagers doing some weird shit, but overall, yeah, I think teenagers understand the immense power they have over us.
Yeah, remember the
incredible power.
Remember the knockout game, guys?
I do remember the knockout game.
That a teen would be playing the knockout game on you.
Yeah,
I mean, they get away with it too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, at one point, one of these teens has to go to the bathroom, so he gives his phone to his friend and says, "Hey, record this for me while I'm gone so I don't miss it." Yeah.
Insane. Absolutely insane.
So I'm not making this up. It was all 100% real. And it seems like my movie stories are made up, but I think I just live in a weird place. Or the witch's curse, whatever.
Yeah.
So then, because now he's on his phone, this sets the guy behind us, like, off the fucking handle. So he's like, "Hey, get off your goddamn phone. I'm trying to watch the movie." And he's like, "What are you on about?" And he's like, "I swear to God, you get off the phone, or I'm like gonna, whatever." I forget we threatened him somehow. And it's like, "All right, geez, we'll get off the phone." But then this like emboldened the teenagers to be like shitty for the rest of the movie. So they're just going like back and forth. Like it's not like the whole time, but it was just like way too much. To the point where the teenagers like got up and like moved to the back of the theater, and then the guys behind us just started clapping. It was so weird. It was like a little side spectacle to go with my movie.
Wait, say that last part again. The guys behind us, what?
Just started clapping.
Oh, okay.
Because the teenagers moved.
Nice.
They saw this as like a victory. So
I also see it as a victory.
It was so... I don't know. I must have run over 3 more witches or something like that I wasn't aware of. Like, I don't normally run over people with my car, but I must be just like, instead of sleepwalking, getting into my car and running over witches. It's the only explanation. I don't know how this keeps happening.
That's insane.
You can kill a witch in your dreams, so maybe you dreamed about running over witches.
Oh man. Well, I should stop doing that.
Yeah.
So, that was my movie theater experience. That was just bizarre. Can't wait to tell you guys how Mario goes. I'm sure it's going to be great.
I mean, it's so funny because I had the opposite experience. I had a bunch of teenagers come into my theater right before the movie started talking, and I was like, oh, God. And then they were all good and quiet for the movie. So I was like, good for you, teenagers.
Impossible.
I think
dreamed that happened.
I think this movie won them over. I really think they were planning to be shitty teenagers, and they were like, oh shit, I guess I gotta pay attention because this is cool. Because, a lot of the times when I have bad movie experiences, it's because the movie itself isn't very good. Like for Lion King live action or something, the kids get bored and get on their phone. But like, part of me believes, and I don't have anything to back this up, that's what happened.
And to be fair, you had a bad theater experience for the live-action remake of Lion King because the live-action remake of Lion King was playing on the screen.
That didn't help, yeah. And, it was a weird one. But my experience was good, so it sucks that yours was bad, but it is the rules.
It wasn't even that bad. It was very fleeting. Like everything I'm describing happened, like in minute bursts at a time. But it was just so weird. It was so weird. And like Michelle and I's like agreement, we just like do not engage. Do not engage. One time on my third watching of Endgame, there was a guy who was on his phone and was like, "Hey man, can you please get off your phone?" And then he did. So that's like the only time.
I'll shush a teenager that seems like they're shushable. Like one or two teenagers together, maybe I'll give them a shush. Parents with children, if they can't see me, I'll give them a shush.
Whoa, really?
Such strong courage of his convictions.
Absolutely. I'll shush a parent with if the kid won't shut up or like has a phone out or something, and they're with a parent, and it's a big full theater. I will definitely. If they have a phone out and it's making noise, but like I'll be like shush, and then they turn around. I will not take credit for it, but like, yeah. I don't want to get beat up because somebody's like, I could do whatever I want. My kid's the king of the whole world. He could do no wrong.
Nando does a big wide-eyed stare looking around like, who said that?
Yeah, exactly.
In his hot dog costume. Do you do a shush or shh? What do you do?
I'll start with the shush for sure.
The actual shush. You say shush.
Here's what usually will happen. The only times I've done this and it's worked, it's been a shush or like a shh. And then usually everybody else kind of goes with it. Not like everybody starts shushing, but like everybody kind of looks at them and they'll turn around and go, oh, all right, I'm getting shushed. If that doesn't work, or if it seems like if they're doing this in a group that is not like all doing it, I will sometimes go like, come on, man. And then they'll put their phone away or something.
Whoa, really? Wow.
Yeah. I've specifically gotten what is definitely, like the Lion King experience was there was a girl there with a guy, and the girl was on, so I think it was a date, I'm not sure, but it seemed like it. And she was on her phone looking up cast members of the Lion King as the movie was going. And I was like, I gave her the shush, because she was also talking. The guy who was quiet kind of was like, hey, and then she was quiet again. And then later she got bored again, took out her phone, started looking through the cast. And then that's when I said, come on. And then the same thing happened again, but then it stuck.
The only story I have
it was the live action remake of Lion King, so I can hardly blame her.
Yeah, no, I listen. If it wasn't so aggressively, like she was 2, maybe 3 rows in front of me, so like it was so distracting. But if it was just talking, I probably would be okay with it. But the phone was what set me off.
The only thing I kind of had like that was I saw Uncut Gems in a completely full-packed theater. And and there was a guy like multiple times like phone out. And eventually I did like and I did I was at an angle that like he wouldn't know it was me. But I was like, hey, get off your phone. And then another guy was like, yeah. And then it was like, oh, this guy was like, oh no.
I think there's a difference between, like, I think you
react to... And then the scene from Spider-Man started, where everyone was like, yeah, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah. But I think there's something to, like, the come on as the way to do it, because the shush is very, like, librarian, kind of like,
yes,
you're not being a good boy in school. But a come on is like, all right, I guess I am being an... Because they know. They have to know. There's no way they don't know. Like, in the movie, sometimes the characters tell you in that little thing, which we'll get to. But, like, yeah. The etiquette is very clear by this point. Anyway.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about the wheel?
Oh, yeah. A whole wheel.
But we got a wheel, you guys. You want to get to our classic wheel?
Always.
All right.
The wheel.
Here we go. I'm going to spin the wheel. Landed on one of DJ's, I think. Just we're the real heroes.
That's me.
Oh, that's a you? Okay. How are we the real heroes? All we did was go see a movie.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, or this is one of those things that have been in movies sporadically for the past couple of years, where there's a little thing before the movie where the cast is just sitting somewhere. I'm never sure where these are supposed to be.
On
Hell.
set?
It's clearly not, it's clearly
feel like
not
they're in
set.
hell.
It might be
Yeah.
hell.
A gulag or something. Yeah.
And they're like, hey, in this movie we play heroes, but in real life you're the heroes because you went to a movie theater. And it's one of those things where I'm like, why are you advertising the movie-going experience to me, a person who's already in a theater?
Yeah.
I clearly already care enough to do this. You don't need to sell me.
Right?
But it feels like it's more than selling. It's like, you did this, thank you. Do it again. Like, keep doing this because it's good.
Keep consuming. Don't stop consuming. Never stop
Honestly.
consuming.
That's what it feels like. It's very much like a vibe of, it's like, you're a hero for doing this, and you'll be more of a hero if you keep doing it, so keep doing this thing you did. So
Yeah, be very
but it's
heroic
weird.
if you went to see Shazam again or something. Now that's a hero. Heroes waged in that day for, making the ultimate sacrifice.
It's very
Yeah.
like cult-like, right?
It-
Like it's the movie stars being like, you're a special person.
You know?
You went to a movie theater. It has very much vibes of like, thank you for choosing to fly with Delta Airlines. It's like, I didn't have a choice. Well, no. Thank you
Yeah.
for choosing to ride New Jersey Transit today. It's like, I didn't have a choice. I had to ride New Jersey Transit. You're the only train.
Well, you know, when Aragorn in Lord of the Rings said that there will come a day when the courage of men fails,
Ah, yeah.
that was the opening weekend of Shazam.
I will say
We weren't there.
this one was particularly long too. This little
Yes.
like bit, and I don't think I think if it was shorter, I wouldn't mind as much. But this one was like a bit,
And
where,
also,
like,
Yeah.
it was weirdly scripted because it was mostly Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. Hugh Grant and Roger Jean Page got a hand on the ball, and Justice Smith and Sophia Lillis just sat there staring at you silently.
Yes.
Yep. Now, to be fair, if I were Justice Smith or Sophia Lillis, I'd take an afternoon off to sit in the room with Bridgerton and Chris Pine and stuff, Hugh Grant. I'll take whatever options I can get. However, I think you could squeeze in some lines because all the things they all said were stupid. It was like, what's her name was like, I remember Michelle Rodriguez's line specifically was like, they were talking about like coming to the theater and like Bridgerton was like sitting in those seats and like Michelle Rodriguez is like eating popcorn that's not that good, but it is good.
Yes.
It's like we just watched this SNL sketch like 4 years ago of Vin Diesel naming everything in the movie and it's not that interesting. And like, why are we doing this in real life?
we have the Nicole Kidman spot for those of us who go to AMC. We know.
And for
We
those-
fucking know.
And for those of us who go to Regal, we have the worst thing I've ever seen in my
Oh man, that one is the worst. I
Wait, can you
forgot how
describe
bad
it to
that
me
is.
as someone who's never
Well,
seen this?
DJ, do you want me to recite it to you now? Because I've seen that goddamn thing so many times
Yeah.
I can say it in my sleep.
DJ, can you imagine the most annoying person you've ever met? What if the movie theater was filled with them, and also the people that worked there were that, and one of them was
Okay.
Danny Trejo, but like
Yeah, what
the
hell
rest of them
did-
were just normals like me and you. Oh my god! Yeah, can
it's-
you explain it to it because it is? Ugh.
It's like a full minute of people just like coming to the theater, buying concessions, going into the movie, trying to find their seats, etc., etc. But the whole thing, everybody only talks in famous movie quotes.
Oh, okay.
And it is the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
It really is. Like, yeah. And, like, it's just, I feel like I've never been in a theater with people watching it or, like, experiencing it where people are having fun. Everybody is also having that same moment with you where they're like, ugh, that's weird. It's, it's rough. It is rough.
Unlike Nicole Kidman, who brings me sincere joy when
Her spot is fine. It's not cringe, but I'm over it.
See, the thing is, DJ, one could say the Nicole Kidman spot is cringe, but it's the kind of cringe that's cringe because it's sincere.
Yes.
Because it's like, I care about this thing, and I'm telling you why. And sometimes that's a little silly. The Regal one is cringe because it's people who think they're being funny and subversive and are just being annoying.
And also, I mean, the Regal one has so many problems. Part of it is as a sketch, you just can't sell it because some of it is people going into the movie theater and saying a line from a movie, like almost like as a coincidence, right? Like it's like I can't even think of one from the beginning specifically, but like it would be like
Do you want to know all of them? Again,
well,
I have this memorized.
What's the first one?
The first set is they walk into the theater. It's all happening.
Right. Yes.
This thing is nicer than my apartment. Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
So all of those, dumb but fine, because like in the universe of the movie, the bit is, or like in this sketch, the bit is everyone in the movie theater just talks in movie theater words because that is what they do. By the time you get to the middle, people are dressed like characters from movies and emulating them, like the Hangover guy, who is just wearing like a Hangover costume and making the Hangover jokes. And it's like, that's not what this is it?
He's doing them to people who truly were not reacting to him in any way.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like going past some people and suddenly goes, it's not a man purse, it's called a satchel. To some guys who weren't saying...
Unprompted?
He was just walking in front of some people who weren't saying or doing anything.
It's so bad.
I need to find this. Is it on YouTube? Like, what do I do? Like, Regal movie
intro?
Yeah,
you can find it.
Oh, I'm going to watch this after this, because I am fascinated.
I'm looking for it, and I can't find it. I found the roller coaster one. That one's fine. I missed that one, honestly. Yeah, I found it.
Regal Cinema's new ad with movie line references. Oh,
explained. Man. So this guy has a video where they go through all of them and then say what movie they're from.
What is there to explain? It's just after every line, he pauses it and goes, "This is a line from a movie." And then he keeps going.
Just Google that line.
No, I love it. It's so great. It's so great.
No, but I found the real one. It's great movie.
I'm watching this, guys. This guy explains it for me.
I mean, that is helpful, but yeah, this is the real one. It's, oh man, it is insufferable. Like, we try sometimes to use the power of the podcast for personal gain. If it was ever possible to use it to wipe this thing off the map, that would be the most good we could possibly do.
That would wipe out so many sins of ours.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's bad. It is bad, and I hate it. And it's a minute long. Just when you think it's over, Danny Trejo's bit starts, and it's like, we were done. We were done.
Oh, man.
Dude, it sucks. The girl that comes in dressed like the Goonies one, it's like, I don't know. I don't think that's okay. I don't know. You'll see it, and you'll really, that's a weird thing to say.
Everyone's just like going to be rushing to find this. Like, I must see this.
If you've never seen it, yeah, I mean, it is truly hard to explain how awful it is.
And remember, I see this every time I go to see a movie in a theater.
Yeah.
You're a hero.
You are a hero.
If we're going to the movie.
That's right.
That's right. We got there. If they had said, if like Michelle Rodriguez had gone, putting up with that horrible Regal spot before every movie, I would have been like, you know what? I'm doing a 180. I'm sold on this now. I am a hero.
Yeah, that would have been so great. Oh yeah, it's tough.
You know what I will say? Just wrapping this up. Not a lot of people were heroes because it did not have a great opening weekend.
That's
unfortunately, for as good as a movie as it was, it did worse than John Wick on John Wick's #2 weekend, which kind of sucks.
No, I mean, I guess
no. I wish it had broader appeal. Like, I knew, like, it's the D&D movie, right? It's only gonna have so much appeal, but it was really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this has legs, but if you're just going to the movie to see a movie next week, this is the one I would see, as opposed to a certain other movie for children about a video or about a game played by human beings, not necessarily also a video game. Although I'm sure they've made video games of this, right?
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Plenty of them.
Yeah.
Hey, your Baldur's Gate. Hey, you got Neverwinter Nights.
Oh, there you go.
Lots of games.
But yeah, it didn't make as much money as it deserves, which is a shame. Although I don't know if this is opened internationally. Not that I think it's got a humongous international market, but oh no, I guess it has. Yeah, it's tough. Did okay in South Korea, the UK, Mexico. Not so well in. Let's look. Who's the lowest? What country? Oh my goodness. Wait, what am I looking at here? Oh, this is the #1 release of that week. Okay, for some reason, Middle East Other gets its own spot where this movie made $57 in
It's
opening
not that
weekend.
much.
No, it's not that much.
Was it
But
just
I'm
in that one theater in Saudi Arabia where
well,
they
that's
showed...
my question. Yeah, like what does that even count? Because I feel like Saudi Arabia was actually on this list. Although it probably wasn't because, well, was there any non-hetero relationships in this movie?
I don't believe so.
They were interspecies, I guess, if you count a certain cameo man. And I don't know how the species work in this movie, but it seems like she's probably a different thing.
She's a human. I'm not clear if he's supposed to be a halfling or a gnome, but he's definitely not human.
Yeah, I think it's halfling. But yeah, in Nigeria is the lowest on this list. In Nigeria this weekend, this movie made $66.
It's not great.
That movie made that much money from the three of us. Movie tickets are so expensive now. But interesting. But yeah, so this movie, real cool. You guys, the wheel.
Did you spin the wheel?
I did. I spun it again. Landed on Ahab. So Harper's are cops, right? Or something?
No, not...
Trips a guy that's robbing someone. And that's part of his harpering.
So,
They're not
kind
cops.
of...
No,
They're not. So here's the thing. They don't have, like, official authority, per se. They're not, like, working for the state. They are
they're vigilantes?
Kind
Yeah,
of.
they're like Hell's Angels.
It's a weird... They're like Batman.
The
where
Oath Keepers?
They're not working for the state. They're not working for the state, but the state knows that they're operating and is like, we're fine with this.
Oh, man. That's much worse.
Well, like, and also there's not like a single state, right?
Right.
Like, you know,
Yeah,
there's a
well-
lot of like jurisdictions and stuff.
The Lord's Alliance is roughly a sort
Yeah.
of coast-wide government, but it's really more of an alliance than like a central government.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're kind of more like, they're basically people who are too chaotic to be cops, but still have a cop's heart.
Oh, no. Yeah, this seems like the worst of both worlds.
I mean chaotic in the D&D alignment sense.
Oh, okay.
Where you're not lawful, you're chaotic.
Gotcha.
Which is to say, you have a greater interest in like personal freedom and
States' rights.
and the importance of doing the right thing over following the law.
Yeah. What is a harper like? What character in fiction would you say is a good example of a harper?
Oh man.
Tried to do this with paladins last week and it didn't really work, but I feel like there's got to be one for this.
Like, I'm trying to think, like, if Robin Hood was ever, like, legitimized, like, is that, like, a thing?
Robin Hood is very Harper-esque. That's sort of like, you know, doing stuff for the good of the common folk. That's not an unusual Harper trait.
Interesting.
I will say, this movie does take it to, like, this area where it's, like, I feel like they legitimize it more as an organization than I normally think of them as. Like, they're usually more independent agents working out of, like, these different cells, but they make the Harpers seem like they got, like, a whole thing going on, which, you know, maybe I can't speak to how incredibly accurate that is, but is different than I've at least used them in my settings before.
Yeah, they've got a whole little creed and stuff and like a book.
Yeah, like
tablet.
I think they just did that to like they took a thing from D&D. It's like we want Chris Pine's character to be a part of it so he could have like some kind of connection later. And it's like the Harper's Creed. You identify with this, no? And it's like I see why they did that because it's an easy way to get to the idea that Chris Pine serves this greater purpose. So as a device to get there, I think it's fine. And I know we have like a wheel chunk about this, but like there are parts of this movie where the D&D specific elements like bump up against what actually is in D&D, but I don't think it affects the movie in any way. It affects fucking nerds like me and Diggins.
Another thing about the Harpers that this movie doesn't necessarily violate, but probably doesn't give you a good impression of, is they're meant to be at least semi-secret. Like,
Yes,
that
very
the,
clandestine.
That the Harpers exist is a matter of public record, but who is a Harper and what they're up to at any given moment is not.
Yes.
Interesting.
Very, very...
Like, it's kind of weird that everyone in Chris Pine's life knows that he's a Harper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And that's not like shitty that's a fact. You know, it's like his wife knows and his friend, his daughter, and like someone should be like, Chris Pine, stop telling every fucking person. And like he's got a little book with the Harper seal on it.
Yeah.
It's like it's too many breadcrumbs, right? Like I said, it's like too legitimate somehow. But again, for the purposes of this movie, it's fine. It's for the nerds like me and Diggins to grapple with.
To push our glasses up our nose and go, actually, I think you'll find if you read the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, the current source book for the Sword Coast setting in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, that the Harpers should be based out of Baldur's Gate, and their presence in Neverwinter has actually been drastically reduced since the ascension of Lord Dagult Neverember, after he fled from Waterdeep from his failed coup.
You could be making all that up. I'd buy it. It
I
seems
made up
like
some
the
of it.
things they'd say in this game.
Some of it I made up, some of it's real.
Okay. Speaking of that, I spun the wheel again, landed on one of yours, Diggins. Diggins Pedantry Corner. Let's talk about that one thing that you said before that was a thing, and then we'll get to the other ones.
There's some minor errors, like the stuff we just said about the Harpers, where it's like nothing violates what the Harpers are, but there's some misleading stuff. But as I mentioned early on, Sofina does a time stop to trap everyone except Forge and Simon when they're robbing that Harper vault. And the way that time stop works when she does it is not at all how time stop, the spell time stop works in D&D.
Explain.
So time stop, first of all, is a 9th level spell, so that does indicate that Sofina is an extremely powerful sorcerer.
She's like kind of a badass.
An extremely powerful wizard. I mean, I'm pretty sure by the end it's supposed to be that she's a lich, which would basically mean that she would have to be like a level 20 wizard, which is the highest
She's a
you
god.
can be.
Like, yeah, she's a fucking god.
So time stop is a 9th level spell, the highest level of spell, but it is both more and less powerful than it is depicted in this movie in strange ways, which is to say, time stop does not have an area of effect. Time stop works on the entire world except for you.
Oh.
Like, time just stops, and you have 12 to 30 seconds to do whatever you want. However, it is less powerful in the sense that you are not allowed to affect other people during the time stop. As soon as you do, time starts again. You can only move and, like, do things to yourself.
I see.
It's mainly meant in the game as a way for a wizard who gets in a surprise fight to be like, time out, let me cast all my buffs on myself. All right, cool, fight starts. Or you can use it to run away because you are allowed to move. So you can just like time out for 30 seconds and just book it.
But is that not what happens in the show? Or in the
movie, it's an area of effect. It only stops time for the people in the vault while they get
weird
away.
Orb.
If it was cast as it was, everyone would be stopped except for Sofina, and it wouldn't really affect their escape at all because time would also have been stopped for all the guards and everyone else too.
I see. Interesting.
It is realistic, however, that Justice Smith, Simon, could not counter it because it is hard to counter high-level spells.
I will say, though, if they're at the level where they're facing someone who can cast Time Stop, like, they're dead. Like, you're doing Time Stop, you're doing everything.
Ooh.
Like, yeah, it's, like...
Well, yeah, she probably could have just casted Disintegrate and instantly killed them.
Yeah. It's like one of those things where it's like in D&D, it's like... And I guess, like, video games, too, where it's like, you start as, like, you're just a guy, but at the end, you're just, like, you're killing Zeus with a hammer.
Yeah.
You're so fucking powerful.
That makes sense. Like,
So, yeah.
But yeah, time stop.
Yeah.
It's a cool
Now-
power if it is that.
Now, does that matter at all for the movie or anything? Absolutely not. However, I am nothing if not someone who jumps at the chance to be a pedant.
Well, do you have other pedantry that you want to get to that isn't, stuff that's super important?
I think the other huge one we're going to talk about later, right? But
okay.
Let me see if I can think of some smaller ones. Let's see.
Oh, attunement, that's not like how it's... when Justice Smith...
I thought about this. It
Yeah.
is sort of how attunement works if it's an artifact that has its own sentience. A sentient artifact can reject your attunement.
But is that what that helmet is?
Let me look it up. The Helm of Disjunction.
Because I don't think so. Also, in general, what did you guys think of the device that, like, it was him all along?
Wait, which one?
When Justice Smith is attuning to the helmet, and he thinks it's Elminster, that his, like, great-great-great-grandfather that's being like, you suck as a sorcerer, or wizard, whatever, you jerk, but it was actually him telling him that he couldn't do it.
I mean, that was fine for me. Yeah, I thought that was okay. What did you think?
It's fine. By the way, not a sentient artifact, so...
I'm looking it up. It looks like it didn't exist before this movie.
Oh.
So.
Oh wait, really? Oh shit, yeah.
It does seem like a pretty overpowered
They give it a
thing.
stat block though. Like you could totally use it for your campaign if you wanted
They
to.
did that with a lot of stuff in this movie. They released character sheets for all the characters.
I saw that. Oh yeah, Nando, you could play as, you could either have these characters be NPCs,
Yeah, if you
or
want
you could play
to,
as
if you want to
them.
do mostly adventuring and play as Forge Fitzwilliam, Hugh Grant,
Oh,
you could do
yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And just
you could do
fucking,
that.
what do I do? Like, comb the daughter's hair the whole game or something? Like, I mean, I know how the movie ends, so I'd be like, I think they're going to try this. Let's just reinforce this up a little bit. Yeah, put my potato shield on, and then we're going to be just fine. But yeah, I mean, I could see doing like a thing with them from the beginning where they're like all doing little things together, and he's cool. What's his power besides being sneaky?
I think like silver tongueness is part of the deal with him.
Yeah,
right?
he appears to be a rogue, so if we're going purely by mechanics, he would be really good at skill checks, which is like when you're just doing something that's not combat, usually just roll a skill check. So he gets a lot of proficiencies in those, which means he's just better at most of them than other people. And when he attacks, the marquee power of the rogue is the sneak attack, which is once a turn when you attack, you get to do a bunch of extra damage because you're just good at hitting weak points.
Cool. Does he do anything like that in this movie?
Not really. We don't see him fight, really. He just talks.
Yeah.
Which
He talks to people and is clever, right? So that's kind of it.
Yeah, there are rogue builds that are that are less based around like being sneaky or an assassin or something, and more based around like being a charming con man, which is probably what he is.
That's fair. Yeah, he's pretty cool. We'll see more pedantry as it comes along. Speaking of pedantry, I remember this was pedantry. I spent the weekend. Landed on one of Diggins. Is the real cocaine bear. Let's talk about the thing, that big giant bear thing that is a person.
That was your name.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, no. I couldn't think of it. Like, what's her deal?
So she's a druid, which is another class. Druids are like nature wizards. Like, they're spellcasters, but their power comes from having a connection with nature instead of like studying magic.
Do they all have like tails and stuff, or is that just her?
No, that's because she's a tiefling. Tiefling is a different species from human. A tiefling is a humanoid who is descended partially from devils.
Some more pedantry, by the way. A tiefling would never look like that. Like, tiefling have, like, different colored skin.
I mean...
Like, black, blue, or red skin.
A tiefling could look like that if your player is a coward.
I mean, sure, but, like, very typically... Like tieflings are supposed to be, like, very tall, have giant tails, horns, and, like, a different color skin.
They usually look more like devils.
Yeah.
Many of them don't have pupils. It's like a whole thing.
No one's like, oh, is that a tiefling that went by? I wasn't sure. It's like, oh no, that's definitely
honestly,
a
when
that went by.
I first saw trailers, I figured she was human because human druids can end up growing like little horns or something as they get more powerful.
Oh yeah, tieflings are like purple and shit in like the little drawings I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, they look like little devils. Some of them. This one guy does.
I said.
He looks like that guy from the X-Men one, Azazel.
Yeah, it's...
Or like
I guess
Nightcrawler,
the
I
vibe.
guess, would kind of be tiefling-esque.
Yeah.
Because they're
also a vibe.
They're descended partially from devils, which, by the way, are distinct from demons, and both are distinct from daemons.
We just call this the pedantry episode of Mostly Nitpicking. This is mostly nitpicking.
Yeah.
The thing to
That's
understand
what this
is that devils and demons hate each other and are locked in an eternal blood war.
Is there a Satan of this universe?
Probably the closest figure would be Asmodeus, the ruler of the Nine Hells.
And which ones of those work for him?
Devils.
Okay. I don't like that at all. But interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, so she has spells. Well, she should have spells. She doesn't really do spells in this one. But one of the marquee powers is the wild shape ability, which is to let you turn into any animal. Now, she shouldn't be able to turn into an owlbear, because an owlbear is not a beast, it's a monstrosity.
Previously on Mostly Nitpicking.
That's true, I did say this.
I remember this exact sentence with that accent.
Oh my god.
That's true. But that's the pedantry that everyone said since the trailer came out, so I go for more advanced pedantry, like the precise mechanics of the time stop spell.
Right.
Or the
Just
fact,
like in Advanced Dungeons and Dragons.
or the fact that Wild Shape can only be used 2 times a day unless you're a level 20 druid.
in which case it's like, what, 4? Like, it's not 7.
No, if you're level 20, it's infinite.
Oh, I guess that you are a god at that point, so yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
I mean,
sense.
there's no way she's level 20, so it still doesn't make sense. But
I don't think any of these guys are above level 4.
Yeah,
Well, maybe Simon, but...
no, they got to be at least. If Simon could do a counterspell, he's got to be at least level 5 because that's when you get
Yeah,
3rd level spells. Nando
We are
is
losing
so
the
lost.
podcast by the minute. Yeah, everyone is just like, shut up! No one cares!
This is what the people came for.
Yeah. So she cannot turn into normal things. Or like she shouldn't be able to turn to as many things as she turns into, is what you're saying? And that one not
Precisely.
The owl bear is the only one that wouldn't be possible. Everything else is possible.
But you mean
Well, not with that frequency.
yeah, in that scene where she's like switching rapidly between
No, there's
different
no way.
things. Okay.
No, she can only do it twice a day. Now, turning back into yourself does not count as that. You can always just turn back into yourself. So, but she can only turn into 2 distinct animals every day, or she should be able
Interesting.
to. But it's a movie.
If you were one of these guys, what animal do you think you would mostly be?
That I could legally be.
Yeah.
I mean, you could turn into a regular bear, which is pretty sick.
Common ones that my players have frequently used: brown bear, giant spider. Trying to think. Lions and tigers are not uncommon. Someone turned into a rhino once.
That's tight.
If you're a special kind of druid who specializes in using your wild shapes, you can turn into some really crazy stuff. My one player sought out a T-Rex so he could turn into a T-Rex because it can only be animals you've seen before. You can't
Right.
just do stuff you haven't seen.
That's interesting. I feel like in the movie she does fly. That seems pretty handy.
Yeah, there is a level restriction on that, but she should probably be a high enough level that she could do that. So like a low level, if you're a low enough level druid, you can't turn into something with a fly speed or a swim speed, and those restrictions go away as you get higher level. Giant eagle, also a very common one. Once you can do flying, because they're pretty strong and also they are very fast.
What about something with like poison in it or something?
Yeah,
Them
you can do
frogs.
that.
Snake.
Yeah, you can turn into some kind of poison animal, a snake or a frog or something.
Could you turn into one of those frogs that if you lick it, you hallucinate, and then does everybody get explained what the hallucination is to them or something?
Yeah, totally.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like she was okay in this movie.
The scene where she goes in to figure out the door and the escape scene and where she turns into a deer at the end, like that scene is amazing. I love that scene.
I think she does cool action set pieces in this movie.
Yes.
And I think they make good creative use of her powers. I think as a character, they give her very little to do.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
true.
agreed.
And she's not even as lucky as Justice Smith to only play one thing forever. So she can't just show up on set and they go, do Detective Pikachu again, whatever. So, or do Jurassic Park, whatever it is you do. You're scared of the things and, I don't know, mumble a little bit. But yeah, her vibe was very fourth character.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. No, not every character gets to be, like Star-Lord of this group.
And it is funny, they made her part of, like, the Emerald Enclave, which is, like, another thing, like, in Forgotten Realms. Like, they're another group, faction.
They're a faction,
Yeah.
like the Harpers, yeah. Although they're much more...
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically just like, hey, we're the druids. We care about nature. And that's pretty much it.
Now, okay, here's a question. Would that character, with that race and class and all that, ever date Justice Smith's guy? Or is that, like, completely out of...
Anything's possible, yeah.
She could if she wanted to. Yeah.
Very, very few, probably almost no limitations when it comes to, like, those things. It's like, would they ever have, like, encounter each other? It's like probably, right? Because the one thing about like the towns like Neverwinter and Waterdeep, it's like they're like metropolitan cities where everyone is.
There's some of like the biggest cities in the world. Like you can find almost anybody there. Also, what is the fantasy of D&D, if not at least partially the fantasy of being able to kiss whoever and whatever you want?
It's a really good point.
Well, yeah, it's like one of those things where, like, they're all grifters to some extent. Not really her as much, although she can grift if she needs to. So I guess maybe
You
there's,
leave her
like...
friends behind.
Exactly, yeah. I feel like the circle is probably pretty small where you've heard of the grifter that's animals, and you're like, oh, I'm the grifter that does magic shows. If I ever see her, that'd be fun. But, I mean, not all of them are grifters, but some of them. And yeah, they need this magic helmet. She knows to get it, and then Justice Smith is like, I know it exists or something.
Yep.
So then I spun the wheel again. We landed on one of mine. The dead speak. We get a fun little scene where everybody speaks to the dead guys. That was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun.
I love this scene so much. I wish it wasn't spoiled with the trailer, but
yeah,
this is the life we live in.
Well,
this was something that I was kind of waiting for.
They only spoiled the first bit in the trailer. They didn't
That's
spoil
true.
the extended bit.
They could have made more sins than they did.
Ding!
Ding, yeah.
Damn it.
Can we explain this one, people? Is this a real D&D thing?
Speak with dead is a real spell, yes.
Nice.
Generally, the answers are more cryptic and less personality, but for the most part, they were correct.
That's the fun thing. Like, a fun... Well, I shouldn't say fun's the wrong word, but a DM could make that as, like, a choice, right? That's, like... I don't, like... More, like, macro point, like, real quick. So, like all these video game movies we do are, like, failures... because the video games are like so constrained. But I feel like because D&D is this more like open and fluid thing that like this movie could totally be a campaign run by like a DM who's, you know, feeling themselves, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, a big part of it is you could decide to change any rule you wanted if you know, just to make the game more fun. So this could all totally be a campaign that somebody actually ran. And the bits that are different are just like, I decided it worked differently because that was cooler.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. But anyway, the Speak with Dead scene.
Yeah.
So, they got this. Justice Smith is able to ask 5 questions to the dead because they got to figure out where this helm is because it was lost in this battle. And it, like, turns into, like, a 5-minute comedy beat that's, like, kind of amazing. Like, you have him asking, like, the first one, right, is, like, they ask 5 questions and they like blow it. Because it's like, oh, is that a question I could ask? Like, yes. It's like, oh, like.
And I gotta say, that is some shit I would definitely pull as a TM.
Yes,
the
yes.
players
It's
are talking
brilliant.
and say questions. I'd just be like, well, that was one of them.
And then it's like, oh, I'm like the wrong brother. Like, I wasn't in the battle. I died like hitting my head on the tub. And the other guy's like, I never even saw the helmet. So they're just like it's actually kind of morbid. They're just like digging up like graves to find the person they need who last saw this helmet in a battle from like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked.
They're gonna fight a big dragon, or there's a big dragon in that scene that they're like, the dragon fucked us all.
Yes.
That shoots rocks.
They're
It does shoot
fighting
rocks. Okay, I wasn't sure what that was. Cool.
Yeah, dragons can have all different kinds of elemental breath weapons.
Yeah. They do a lot with it.
They're fighting the cult of the dragons, which is a thing that exists. I don't know a lot about them, but they're basically a cult who thinks chromatic dragons, who are the evil ones, are really cool and there should be more of them.
Yep.
I mean, the dragons were cool in this. They're part of the name of the thing. I tend to agree with those guys, I think.
Whoa! Nano's
Although, once again, the dragon was just kind of a big monster when D&D dragons are intelligent and can talk.
Oh.
That is true. Pedantry corner. Ding!
Ding.
I was waiting for Thumbershad to say something, and he never did.
Yeah.
Could you...
As we know, Diggins is here for sentient animals that can take over movies and be, you know, total plot points, just like his boy, Total Khan. That's what Diggins needs.
I just think that the fact that they're intelligent beings are part of what makes D&D dragons cool. Is that so wrong?
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Now, in this scene, they can talk to the people from the dead.
Yeah.
In this game, like in the world of Dungeons and Dragons, assuming these guys are all kind of the same thing, as it seems like they are, do they get pulled directly from heaven to do this, or like what's their afterlife like?
So this spell, no. However, there is an afterlife that is detailed. So it depends on how good of a boy you are in life. Which is to say, there are different afterlives for the different alignments. Like if you're lawful good, which is like the if you're a cop, you go to Mount Celestia, the lawful good plane, which is just like traditional heaven, like, you know, big mountain up in the clouds, fluffy white heaven stuff. But if you're, say, chaotic good, you might end up on Arborea, which is just like an endless forest. And if you're an evil boy, you could end up in the Nine Hells, or in the Abyss. Or if you're only kind of evil, maybe you end up on, and if you're kind of evil and an orc, you might end up in Acheron, which is like, It's kind of like a normal world, but also everything is really sharp and wants to kill you.
Oh, but you're dead.
Yeah, you can die again.
Oh, okay.
And then
Wait.
you cease to exist.
Oh, okay. Wait, so then if, let's say they did bring the wife back from the dead, what would she be like? Oh, wait.
Well,
I was
that's
in
a
seven hells.
Her soul would return from whatever afterlife she was in and come back to her body. It's left up to DM interpretation if you remember what the afterlife is like or
Okay.
not. It's
Yeah.
not.
And
And someone alludes to that, right? Someone's like, you're trying to get your wife back, but this is not the end, or that's not the death. Is not the end.
This is not the only plane of existence,
Right.
Which,
Right.
if someone said that to you, if someone in real life was like, "Are you sure you want to bring your wife back from heaven?" They'd be an asshole. But in this
Right.
world, it is a concrete, knowable fact that she's in heaven right now, and it's probably rules there.
Well, how do we know she's in heaven, though?
That's
she's
true,
married
we
to
don't
a
know.
cop. She may have put up with a lot of bad things, planting evidence and whatnot, and she may have been privy to
great
that. And
point.
then
That's a great
what
point.
happens?
She could have ended up in the 9 hells, lawful evil.
Exactly. So he should probably save her. But
Yeah,
also,
you can be resurrected from even the bad places if someone casts the spell.
so in this scenario, these guys that were brought back in to have their little questions, is that just like their memories kind of doing it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Their souls don't come back into their bodies for this. They just kind of like animate their bodies again, and they remember what they remembered in life, but they don't know anything else that happened. They can't gain new information. It's basically like remember in Wild Wild West when they look in that guy's eye to see the last thing he saw before he died? It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's cool. This is a real handy spell.
It
Oh
is.
yeah.
Like,
That's part of why you're encouraged to give cryptic answers, so it's not just a solution for everything.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Also, I spun the wheel again, landed on something that we skipped because I forgot it happened earlier, but it has to have in the order of operations. Short King Summer! Let's talk about all the Short Kings in this movie. There are two, but mainly just one that matters.
Two. I know one of the Short Kings. Who's the other Short King?
There's the one at the end of the movie. The
Oh,
new
you're
Short
right.
King.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
But yeah, what did you guys think of this bit? Did you how long did it take you to recognize him?
Later, when I was looking up the cast,
Oh, really?
didn't recognize him at all.
Was it the hair or something? Or
I don't know.
are you used to him being tall?
I think it's more just I wasn't expecting him to be anybody, so I wasn't looking for it.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, we learned that Michelle Rodriguez's guy used to be married. Ex-husband, yeah, used to be married to a halfling. I think is what it is technically. Played by a somewhat like like littler, the kind of Hobbit in the Lord of the Rings, but littler than that, but like that kind of thing, where he's a actor on a green screen looking. Bradley Cooper.
Yep.
Now,
When I saw that, I was like, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, it took me a second to clock him, but I figured it. Like,
Same.
It was just the voice, I think, was what gave it away for me.
Yeah, and I had to go to Michelle. I'm like, is that Bradley Cooper? And she took a beat and was like, yes, that is Bradley Cooper.
Now, I do think I saw trivia for this, why he was in it, but I don't remember what it is.
Huge D&D fan?
No.
I love D&D.
If I remember correctly, and this is just I'm making this up, but it's something like he was going to be in it, but then couldn't or something. Like he was going to play the Christmas. That's probably not it. But it was something like that. Or he's worked with the directors before, and like he's a friend of theirs. But like I can't think of any of these actors who he's connected to via some other project. So you'd kind of assume it's John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, the writer directors of it, who were on Bones, Spider-Man: Homecoming, and none of these things. Game Night, he's not in that. So none of these things right now. But yeah, I think it's. I'm trying to find the trivia page on IMDb. I think it's that he is like either is friends with them from just like hanging out, or kind of knows them, or had some role that he couldn't have in this movie. But yeah,
who do you think he would have been in the movie?
Yeah, the main
Chris
guy.
Pine's right?
Chris Pine, I could see him being the Paladin too.
Yeah,
like he's a little bit more of like a rough edges kind of character usually, but I could see it as like a little just famous person who is handsome, because that is really his. Not like all what he can do, but like he could play a really, really handsome guy. We've all seen the one where he is a geek or whatever.
Oh,
what was that?
yes.
What was that movie? Nightmare Alley?
Nightmare Alley,
Yeah.
I was like, geek. Like, yeah.
This is also for me where it solidified that this is Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Little baby Bradley Cooper. There's only one other one of those in movies.
You got a good point.
Yep.
Good point.
And listen, he's great in it. I think it's pretty funny. Oh, he was in Freaks and Geeks, maybe. No. No. Oh, okay. I found it. He did a show called Kitchen Confidential with the director John Francis Daley, and they were friends from that. And then they like kind of reconnected recently. And then it was like, so you want to be in this thing? And he's like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Is that the movie where Jon Favreau seduces hot women by making pasta good?
No, but it's like that, I think. That movie is great. That movie is called Chef, right? Or is there a different one of those kicking around?
No, I was talking about Chef.
It's
Oh, okay, yeah. But this one, I feel like it looked to me a lot like Chef. But now I'm thinking it's because it's a show, not a movie. So maybe I'm thinking of a completely different thing.
I thought Kitchen Confidential was a reality show like Gordon Ramsay stuff, to be honest.
I think it is, but now it's based on a book written by Anthony Bourdain.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think because Bradley Cooper in this show plays a character named Jack Bourdain, who is a chef once addicted to alcohol and drugs. He is given the opportunity to run Nolita and make a career comeback, which I guess is the name of the restaurant. Yeah, and this movie had John Francis Daley, who plays one of the guys, who's the director, who, by the way, if you Google him, you know this guy. Like, you're like, oh, him? And then some other people. I would recommend looking at him just so you can see him. Because he's one of those guys. He was in Waiting. That's kind of what I know him from mostly. But yeah, I think it's pretty funny that he's a little boy. In this.
I thought we were gonna get like more like cameos of people who are like fans of D&D. Like, would Vin Diesel show up because he's known to play D&D?
Depends on who you ask. He might not play D&D in real life, according to Joe Manganiello, I think, in one interview I heard. But yeah, Joe Manganiello I kind of expected to show up in some capacity. Right? He's made that a big part of his identity recently. And then obviously you got all the other people who are like celebrities, from D&D, like your Felicia's Day and you're all of those guys.
Your Matthews
Mercer.
Your Matthews Mercer, exactly. So I'm not surprised none of them were in it, but I would not have been I wouldn't have been surprised if they showed up in a wide shot or something and I just missed them, but I don't think they did.
Right.
They did.
Like Gary Gygax in the first D&D movie.
Exactly.
That's true.
Or like the one cameo that is in this movie.
Which one are you talking about? Because there's at least two I can think of.
Oh, I'm talking about the cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
What are you thinking of?
I think it's Paul Scheer has a cameo.
Oh, what's he in this?
He is the painting that they use to sneak in.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fun. Yeah. It's this is a movie that is like just so easy to make some wild cameos part of it.
Yeah.
Because, there's so many little guys. Like, I know the Auntie Donna guys did in the Australian version. They voiced all the ghost men, or not ghosts, the skeleton men.
Why?
Oh, nice.
Why would the Australian version dub over stuff?
No good reason. I guess.
They know we speak the same language, right?
They don't. They don't know that yet, and they're too embarrassed to tell them at this point.
Yeah.
They had to dub over the scene where they talk about the contractors used to build the dungeon, so instead it could be about all the tradies they used to build the dungeon.
Yeah, that's right.
And other dumb nonsense like that.
I think honestly, that's the only explanation that makes sense besides just the director likes them and they were around. But yeah, they did.
Yeah, right. It's like we don't actually need an Australian dub, but hey, I fucking loved my favorite sketch comedy group ever.
Because we saw the Super Mario trailer where they have different guys doing the Mario of every country. And like there are other movies could just do that. In all the English speaking versions of it could also just be a guy from there. So, the French Mario sounds, well, I guess French doesn't speak English, does it? The British Mario sounds like a British guy instead or something. He's from the British part of Brooklyn. I don't know.
I mean, it is called New York.
That's true.
Man, I liked this scene, both because it was funny that Bradley Cooper was a little guy.
So funny.
But also, it was like, I don't know, the humor from that scene wasn't that they hated each other or that she felt, or like the new wife was mean to her or something. And it was all very, nice. It felt like a healthy dissolution of a relationship, but you still care about each other while still providing drama from that, which I was like, That's nice. It's just a nice thing.
Yeah, I feel like that worked pretty well.
Yeah, it's a good scene.
Although Bradley Cooper does have a type.
He does have it. So does she. You know?
Yeah, fair
Good
point.
for them.
Fair point. You know,
yeah.
you know what they say about hairy feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have walking sticks.
Yep, that's it.
And she gets a walking stick. That's a plot device, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the one thing where I was a little like, okay.
Did you recognize that as like when you saw the walking stick, were you like, oh, I know what that is specifically? Or were you just like, this is something?
No, I didn't recognize it. It was the one thing where I felt like that's a little convenient. But it's fine. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
I do believe this is another item they made up for this movie, in fact.
It has to be. It's so handy, right?
So,
like, it's pretty cool.
So there was no chance of me recognizing it.
Like, if you were a DM and someone found this, or like this was a weapon they brought in, would you change the rules of it so it can't work the way they use it?
I would probably limit it to, like, you can do this once a day or something.
Or, like, within a certain amount of feet. Like, you gotta have a radius.
It does have
like,
he says it only works within 500 yards, which is an incredibly big radius, so I might reduce that also.
5 football fields. That's, like, insane.
But it's 500 yards of where it's fired. The thing they do with sneaking it in through the painting, that feels like the cheating thing. And I'm like,
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you could just put it in a, board and then throw it down the river. Then you can be fine. But yeah, I feel like 5, 10, 20 feet maybe. That's a little more reasonable. It's still great.
Yeah. And to be honest, the things we're saying, like reduced radius once a day, that is more in line with a typical magic item in D&D. Unless it's like a crazy good one.
Yeah. Speaking of crazy good, I spun the wheel again, landed on, this one's one of mine, Drax the Paladin. Let's talk about the surprise stud of the movie, everyone's favorite guy, besides the Short King, everyone's second favorite guy. Reggie John Page, Mr. Bridgerton himself, Mr. What was his character's name in Red Notice? Mr. Red Notice himself. Or not Red Notice, he's the other one. Gray Man? Was he in Gray?
Wait, Gray Man?
Yeah, he's like the guy who's horribly miscast as Reggie Jean Page. You remember? He's like the boss who went to Harvard with one of them and is like, I know him from Harvard.
Yeah,
and you're like, you're not this character. This character's like Ed Harris or something. But anyway, yeah, he's a paladin. What's his deal?
So he's
a Thane. Are you good, Diggins? Because I'm going to botch this, I'm sure.
Thayan. He is from the land of Thay.
Already.
Thay being the land where the Red Wizards are from. Now, Thay was always a but has for a long time been a magocracy ruled by liches, which, if you don't know what that means, a lich is basically just a very powerful wizard who has turned themselves immortal by putting their soul in a little gem that they've got and eating other people's souls.
Right.
It was always a magocracy ruled by liches, but Zastam has taken over 100 years ago, took over in a coup, deposed all the other wizards in charge, and has been the sole ruler of Thay ever since. And that is a thing in the setting of Faerun. Both the existence of Thay and the Red Wizards and Zastam as the current sole ruler after a coup. But in this movie, it's revealed that when he did so, he used a powerful magic item to turn everyone in a certain radius into undead thralls under his command. And Regé Jean Page's character, Senk, was there for that and was one of the only people to successfully escape when he was a little lad. Although he was partially branded with it, and I think that's why he's lived for so long, because I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be human.
Oh. Is he like magic at all, or is he just really good at stuff?
Paladin is partially magic. They have access to magic granted to them by their devotion to their oath, whatever oath they take. Typically, it's to a god, but it doesn't have to be.
Interesting. Are they usually like Drax the Destroyers, like guys? Or
they
is
have
that
a reputation for being, because paladins are usually lawful good, so they have a reputation for being a little humorless and stiff. But they don't have to be. They don't even have to be lawful good. They don't even have to be lawful, depending on what their oath is.
Do they have to save a little cat from a fish?
Yes,
is that the rules?
Yeah. If you don't save a little cat from a fish, you do lose access to all your paladin powers.
It's good that he did that then, because otherwise he would have lost access to his paladin powers.
Yeah, it would have been pretty bad for them.
Is that the specific, what'd you say, practical effect thing that you were talking about when we were talking about this?
I was actually talking about earlier when they did the melt to stone.
Okay, yeah.
That was practical. The mimic tongue is practical. There's little things like that.
Big bird man.
The Big Birdman and the Dragonborn in the pardon scene, they're both practical.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Why were there no cat people? There's a world with cat people, right?
There are cat people.
I know, but why isn't Chris Pine one or something? Then it would be a really good movie. Everyone
It would have
like.
been hard.
Yeah, either CGI or makeup that takes 12 hours or
Virtual
whatever.
fur technology, people. We figured it out 3-4 years ago, and they perfected it.
So you're
I don't know.
asking not why is he not a cat person? You're asking why is he not a cat's person?
That's right. Yeah, why is he not a cat's person? It's they you know, it's like it would be like if all the other movie studios just didn't use all the 3D bullshit that James Cameron invented for Avatar. Just pretended it didn't exist. Like we have this wonderful technology we can use to turn all the actors into cats.
To turn all the actors into furries.
That's right. Yeah.
And even though they don't give placental birth, we'll still give them big bazumbas.
What'd you think of this guy though, the paladin guy? Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think
I like that they had an OP like NPC come help for a little bit and then leave. Like I think it's very on brand for a Dungeons and Dragons campaign. So I thought it was fun.
everyone remembers the super powerful guy who joined your party for a little bit and then left.
Yeah.
Now, when that happens in Dungeons and Dragons, is that just because the players messed up and got somewhere they're not supposed to be and need to get out or something? Like, why would you throw that guy into a situation like this?
Sometimes it just makes sense for the story if they've happened to have met a person like that and successfully convinced them that something important is happening, and you can't come up with a reason why they wouldn't. Or sometimes you just, for the story, you just want them to have that guy for a little bit so that something can happen. You know, the thing to keep in mind is that it's all very open to whatever the DM decides story-wise can just happen.
Like maybe they'll go up against like a real fat boy dragon and need help with it because without the NPC non-playable character they would die.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, in this movie, Chris Pine is racist against those things or something?
So it's not racist, he's nationalist, he's xenophobic.
Right, okay.
Thayans are human.
Because of the red guys that killed his wife.
Yeah, the Red Wizards are in charge of Thay, and they're most associated with the country, but they're also just people who live there. But yeah, no. The Thayans are just humans, so he's not racist, or I guess he's not speciesist. I guess maybe he's racist. Is Thayan a race? I don't know. It gets confusing.
Yeah. And then I spun the wheel again, landed on somebody else's, just chonk. Let's talk about the big dragon fight.
My chonk.
What's this guy's deal?
What's his deal in the movie, or do you want his full deal?
Like when you saw him, and what did you expect? Is his deal he just eats guys? Like that's what he's after?
So D&D dragons are not very different from most dragons you're probably familiar with. They like to hoard. They like to have gold and stuff. And they do like to eat people if they bother them. I mean, it depends on the kind of dragon. He's a red dragon, which is a typically evil dragon, so it makes sense for him.
Oh.
They are, like I said, like I've been saying for years, they are intelligent. And so he would probably be like yelling, like, "What do you want? Leave me alone. I'm going to eat you."
And this guy just wasn't that.
So
It was a typical like movie monster dragon.
So the
right?
weird thing is, he's an existing character in canon, so we know he can talk because he's done it before. He just,
I don't know. Maybe
he just didn't.
maybe they thought it would just like be way too confusing. Like, what? A talking dragon? What is that? Smaug? So I don't know. Might have just been too confusing.
I mean,
I get it.
I guess maybe it just feels like, I don't know, like a hat on a hat. You know, we already got a big dragon. What does he need to talk to them for? And I mean, it's justifiable. It could just be like, he just saw some random people invade his lair. And he's like, I'm going to eat them. What do I need to talk to him for?
Yeah. I don't need to explain myself.
He is pretty cool at stuff. Like, he's a big old guy.
Being fat.
Yeah.
Being the chunkiest man.
I do think that action scene is also pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're doing sword fighting. And what's his name has his little detachable sword.
Zank.
Oh,
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's got his little bloodborne transforming sword. You put the sword into the hilt and it becomes a bigger sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this scene is cool though. The way they're kind of like escaping across all these hanging stones on chains as a big fat dragon who can barely fly chases them.
What was your reaction to the big fat dragon, Nando? Because I doubt you saw this coming. Was it in a trailer, which was great?
I knew there were dragons, but the only dragon I remembered from the trailer was that other one. The one with
the rock
rocks.
one. Yeah, that was one they spoiled.
So I was happy to see him. He seemed fun. I hoped he didn't. I was like waiting for something because I was pretty sure I had seen marketing that featured all four guys and not Regé-Jean Page that seemed to happen later in the movie. So I'm like, oh no, is he going to die? I don't want him to get eaten by this dragon. And so I'm glad he made it through. But yeah.
Instead, he just fucked off.
He just left, which is cool. I like leaving, you know? That's a cool skill you can develop, just exiting on a high note. Although, if he was there for the whole thing, do you think he would have been helpful or somehow worse? Like, would he have just
I don't see how
in?
he could be worse. He's amazing. He stabs that dragon right in the head. He does a big leap and then just like crushes it.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. He's pretty cool. But yeah, now we're at the end of the movie. A lot of stuff happens, but in the middle again lands on the Lemmings of Neverwinter.
Oh, this is Diggins.
Diggins, yeah.
Yeah, so like we said, towards the end of the movie, Sophina starts casting her big spell to turn all of Neverwinter and all the other people who've joined to watch the High Sun games into undead thralls like Zastam did back in Thay, so that they can take over Neverwinter. Because there is one little scene where she has a conversation with Zastam, and we know he's in on this.
Right. Now, here's a question I have for you guys. People think she is what?
People think she's just a wizard.
Yeah, she hides her appearance.
Right, so she hides the fact that she has a red cloak on or something.
Yes.
And the tattoos on her head are also a red wizard thing.
And she takes that off every so often for no reason, because just to show us, the audience, to remind us that she's bad.
You gotta take a break, right? You gotta stay in your suit all day, right? You gotta need a little breather.
I don't know, because there's some parts where people open up the door and she's like in blue, and it's like, you just gave up on your whole incognito thing. Like, he already knows, but like, in other situations, that is not good.
Well,
although, could she do like a memory erase spell or something?
I don't know if she would know it, but yeah, there are spells. There's a remove memory, I think, is a spell.
I mean, everything is a spell.
Not necessarily.
Well, you can make spells.
I think you'll find Justice Smith was actually very clear on that point, that you can't just solve all of your problems with magic. There's specific things magic can do. The spell's called Modify Memory, excuse me.
Oh.
Yeah, plus you need a little wheel of cheese or whatever that he has in his pocket for spells sometimes.
I guess that's supposed to be his arcane focus. I don't know. He implies he's a wild magic sorcerer, which they could have done more fun stuff with. Because a wild magic sorcerer, every time they cast a spell, sometimes just something else can happen. Including they can just, like, explode.
Yeah, that seems like a movie 2 thing. That guy shows up and he's cool and tough and woos Sophia Lillis' character, and then he explodes.
Well, it doesn't kill... Well, it might kill you, but it doesn't necessarily kill you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, so the red woman has a plan. The red woman, Game of Thrones. The Game of Thrones woman has a plan.
We're back!
Yeah. She's like, I'm going to turn everybody into zombies or something, kind of.
Yeah,
when you say
kind of
thralls, they're like, they kind of brainless.
I'm just saying thrall to indicate, like, thrall's not an official, like, creature or whatever. I'm just saying thrall to be like they would be in thrall to her.
Gotcha. Yeah, they seem kind of like they're like those, I Am Legend zombies.
Some sort of undead. There's so many different kinds of undead. I don't know exactly what they're supposed to be.
But yeah, she needs a special horn and a bunch of people to do it. So that's why he does the whole plan.
Yep, the whole plan is basically mutual gain. He gets to steal all the gold that all the rich people brought to the High Sun Games, and she gets a stadium full of people that she can turn into minions. So she, after Forge has already lost because they stole his boat from him, she's still doing her plan. She's casting the spell. All the rich assholes get turned into Zambambos.
Yeah.
Like they deserve, right?
Like they deserve.
Eat the rich.
Yeah.
Turn them into
No,
Zambambos.
the rich are going to eat us?
Yeah.
They're Zambambos
Oh, that's
now.
true. That is, guess how that would
We
work.
should turn into zombies and eat them. That would be cool.
There we go. That's what she should have done. Then she'd be the hero of the movie.
That's right.
But so they see this happen. They're like, oh no, we got to stop them. And they do the plan, which is they use a big hot air balloon with Forge's face on it with the hither-thither staff to pour gold out over the streets of Neverwinter. And all the people of Neverwinter leave the Colosseum to go get the gold. And my thought in that moment is, so they can just leave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could, at any moment while ominous storm clouds were gathering and an evil-looking woman was floating in the air, like pouring evil miasma into the ground around you, you could have just left and you didn't?
Yep.
No.
I mean, well, what's his name? I mean, these people are idiots. And what's his name? Forge was like, you'll all get a special surprise at the end of the thing. And they were like, It's going to be
we
a car.
love
I'm getting a car from
surprises.
this. I had to sign a waiver before I came in here. I'm not leaving before I get my goddamn car.
But listen, by the time the evil miasma is spreading, I was like, oh, special prize is like the eternal reward from Aladdin thing.
Right.
It was an ironic statement. I'm out of here.
What was the other thing with an eternal reward recently? Oh, it was Thor, but it's actually not ironic. It's just like, fuck you. There's no heaven or whatever for you, Christian Bale. But yeah, I do feel like, especially with this guy, with Forge, part of me would be like, oh, we're going to get a car. And then when I don't get a car and then the evil wizard shows up, I would be like, do you think it's like a thing where everybody's like, I don't want to be the first one to leave. I better get canceled. Oh, why are you running away? Just because she's a red wizard or whatever? Ugh, not a good look, bro. And then you just, okay, I guess I'll sit in the castle. Get turned into a thrall or whatever. Also, was the game still going on, or was that over?
You know,
well, the games were like a front,
right?
well,
but
they were running the games though. The games were happening.
Like, is it just that people were so focused on the games down there that they didn't even see what was upstairs?
I don't know how you watch the games. There's no like monitor.
Oh, it's like all these fucking stupid things. Yeah, there's no way. Everybody just whispers to each other like, which one of them's in this thing? Because also, it's just like the other one of these. Where, like, yeah, you can watch it from above. It's a maze, though. And, like, there's no goal either.
Right.
You gotta get to the cage in the center, then the maze reforms, and a new monster gets released, I think.
But then,
we just never see that because they bounce out after the first round, which is the Displacer Beast.
Yeah. By the way, Displacer Beast seems like a real easy beast to win. Besides the fact that it's a leopard, like, the Displacer part of it does not seem that handy.
It's a little harder in the game.
It's harder
because...
the way it works mechanically is if you try to hit a Displacer Beast, you just gotta roll a die, and if you get a low enough number, like after you roll to hit, you roll a second die, and if the number's low enough, you just didn't hit it. You hit one of the images.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a story that only Diggins will appreciate. One of my characters in one of my campaigns, it was actually Michelle, got a Displacer cloak, and it was the bane of my existence because she was just invincible. It's ridiculous.
It's a very good item.
It's so good.
Now, if you saw that thing, would you be like, oh, a Displacer Beast? Or would you be like, that's a weird-looking panther?
Well, who am I in this situation?
Chris Pine.
Yeah.
If I'm Chris Pine, I'd probably like, oh, a Displacer Beast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
he's a Harper, so, you know.
Right, yeah.
He's all read
a
up.
man. But yeah, it'll take them by surprise, which is great.
They also are, it doesn't really come across in this, much like with the dragons, although they can't talk, they are intelligent. So, like, they're actually, you know, smart enough to set traps or otherwise try to trick you. They're not just like animals.
This one kind of does that a little bit, but not like quite that level of smartness.
They're like, stupid human, I'm making an illusion of myself.
Yeah.
I didn't think that's how it worked, by the way. I always thought like a Displacer Beast is something where it's like kind of like phasing in and out. It's like, oh, fuck, can I hit it? Can I hit it? Where is it? Am I here?
Yeah, I imagine that's just how
here.
they chose to visualize it here, because also it doesn't work. It feels like it shouldn't work around corners if it is projecting something from a little projector
yes,
tail.
exactly, yeah.
Because, yeah, also if you're the Displacer Beast, like the way that, I feel like there's one part where the Displacer Beast does set a trap, and it's like, no, you do the opposite of that beast. You, like, make it seem like it's sneaking around a corner to safety, and it's not. But instead it, like, I don't know, it's a weird.
Also, another quick aside, the one guy, the one of the Lord that gets turned into a zombie is like, have you ever had Displacer Beast meat? It's delicious. That's like saying he's eaten dolphins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, that's horrible if he's eaten Displacer Beast.
By the way, TJ, have you ever eaten dolphins?
Yeah. I've never had dolphins, no.
Delicious. No, it sucks. It's not very good. They all taste the same. Dolphin, whale, Displacer Beast, unicorns, people.
I'd eat
not
a dolphin.
very good. Would I eat a dolphin? I think I would too.
I would.
Not like for if it had died of natural causes and it was going bad or something, I'll have a bite. Or if like McDonald's started serving dolphin. I don't know. Anyway, you guys, I spun the wheel again. Oh wait, no, there was one other thing about this. So the Thralls and guys, did you guys recognize the cartoon characters?
I didn't recognize them in the moment, but I knew they were in there and in that scene.
Okay. DJ, do you know what we're talking about?
I don't.
So I put it in the thing. Someone mentioned this the other day to me, and I was like, no, it's not a cartoon. It's a movie. It is a cartoon. There used to be a really bad Dungeons & Dragons cartoon on, like, Saturday morning cartoons, and the gang that they're kind of opposite on this field when the whole maze starts is all dressed like those guys, and that's like a little cameo. And they did a little bit where they produced this, Paramount Pictures did, where all these characters go like, we're in a movie, this sucks, we don't look good, and it's cute. It's got a kind of like G.I. Joe Real American Heroes vibe.
Sure.
It's kind of Jumanji, where it's like they're people in the real world, and they get sucked into the Dungeons and Dragons world.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys want to take a quick guess on how that happens
In the show,
in the cartoon? Yeah.
I'm gonna say someone rolls like a 20. It's the house is struck by lightning.
Okay, it's Nando's guess. What about you, DJ?
Runs afoul of a witch or some kind of trickster.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Now, you guys both assumed that the game was involved somehow. They ride a carousel at an amusement park, and then they end up in Dungeons and Dragons world.
Oh,
damn!
Like at the end of Now You See Me, the carousel takes you into the wizard hideout or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Cool, that's fun. I mean, listen, this bit was cute. I kind of honestly, like we were saying, I expected more of this, more little cameos to like. Honestly, I expected Marlon Wayans to be in the King's, consort or wherever they are, where everybody's gambling.
Yeah.
Just like he's risen to the top now, or not? Well, not him because they had to get. Well, I don't know. In the extended universe, did they save him from hell or whatever? Little snakes or snails or whatever his name is.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
say.
I thought you watched it.
First of all, I didn't watch the other two movies. Second of all, the other two movies are not about the characters from the first movie.
That's true. But yeah,
Sure.
He's the only one that I could see making a comeback since... Well, I guess if you gave Jeremy Irons the money, he would do it. He would slump onto the stage like Charlie Brown, and then you'd say action, and he would jump into an excited rage and do a line or two, and then he would slump off stage like Charlie Brown.
We just need Jeremy Irons to buy another castle that he needs to renovate.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Love him.
Last thing on the wheel. One more thing. The dragon that looks bad, but maybe on purpose. So I had a question about this, because this was the thought I had when I watched it. When the big rock dragon that's made, not rock, but like the stone dragon that's what is it, like a fountain or something, come to life. When I saw it, I was like, this looks just like the dragons in the bad movie, except on purpose. And I'm like, is this a joke? Is this a gag?
Huh. I hadn't considered that, but maybe for me it was just like, oh, this is an animate object, so this is just a stone statue that she's brought to life.
Yeah.
But now you mention it, huh?
I'd need to see them back to back. Like I need to see both of them, because I think it looks pretty similar in terms of like its weird shape and its weird kind of texture. But it makes more sense here because it's a rock. What did you think of that last fight where they do Avengers to it? It's pretty cool.
That was cool.
It wasn't the best action set piece in the movie, but it was good.
It was fun to watch them all do their thing kind of casually.
Yeah.
Like
I like that she got hit in the face with a lute a couple times.
Oh my god, yeah. He picked that. He doesn't understand this at all. Like, he thinks because he's a bard, he has to use that as a sword or something. So much to teach him. He could pick up a real sword.
Yeah. He gets proficiencies in weaponry as a bard.
Yeah.
He could use a rapier.
Yeah, that bit was cool. Are the handcuffs real? One's from Doctor
I
Strange?
actually don't know. Are they Diggins?
I mean, anti-magic field is like a spell, and you can put an anti-magic field on things. So it's not... It is... I don't know that like specific, like the cuff that you put on and you can't do magic exists, but the ability to put anti-magic properties onto an object is a thing you could do.
Nice. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Generally, if she's a lich, I think with an anti-magic cuff on, she should just like deanimate. Like, it wouldn't kill her as soon as you took it off. She would be alive again, but she is a creature of magic, and while magic can't operate, I don't think she can operate either.
That makes sense. Now that I think about it, there's that bit where Chris Pine does magic or does guitar to distract people. Kind of like the end of the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Anyway, you guys, what is the biggest deep cut in these for you Dungeons and Dragons heads that was like, wow, they named this, or they showed a thing of this guy? Was it those weird brain monsters? Those were weird, weren't they? The ones that look like butts from Doom Patrol. Yeah.
I love an intellect devour. They eat brains.
I think for me it was Elminster.
What's that?
Like, we're name dropping one of the most powerful wizards in Forgotten Realms, and he's like related to the main guy. I'm like, that's like deep.
If you're a goddamn loser who read fantasy novels in high school, then you know who Elminster is. Otherwise, you have no idea.
Yeah, so that was it for me.
And wait, so who is what's that? When did they say him in the movie?
It's Justice Smith's great grandfather or whatever. Yeah.
That was a pretty big deep cut. I mean, honestly, there were a lot of deep cuts where a lot of the things that just happen or exist in the movie are things that exist, like Thembershad the dragon, or Lord Daggle Neverember being around, or the thing I said about the Aarakocra before, where it's like, if you know a lot about Aarakocra, then what they're saying seems like it makes sense before they subvert it by they just want to jump out a window. There's a lot of good stuff like that.
Yeah. Also,
they should have waited to see if their pardon would get forgiven.
I mean,
because approved, because their pardon got approved.
It did get approved. I would assume if I'm them, I'm not going to get my pardon approved.
Yeah.
Although, why do you assume that?
Because I would assume if I'm telling that story, I would be like, well, they're lying. Like, I don't think the judges would believe me, because everybody probably says a story that's nice and seems legit, but is actually lies.
Although if I were the judges, after they escaped, I would have been like, I mean, technically they broke the law, but like, they didn't hurt anybody. They just broke a window.
Tell that to Jonathan.
Guy. Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, he's going to be fine.
That's true.
Because he just flew down. Like, he had to go through a window, but then he just flew down to the ground because he's a bird who could
You
fly.
wouldn't feel that way if you were Jonathan in that scenario. That's like a violation.
He's a weird name.
How dare you?
I'm just saying, I would have been like, we were going to pardon him anyway. Do we really want to do all the paperwork to unpardon them? It's just, they can just go. It's fine.
That's true. Speaking of...
Diggins is a very apathetic judge.
Speaking of the Dungeons & Dragons movie, we didn't bring this up. Remember how they have little dice that are popcorns?
Oh, yeah.
You guys both got them, right?
No.
I got mine.
Oh,
yeah.
you did not, but yeah,
it's
DJ
at
did.
AMC. I go to a Regal. We went over this earlier.
Listen,
I see the horrible quotes promo.
I didn't want this, but I thought about going to my local AMC just to pick it up, because like I feel like they'd give it to me, right? But
I mean, how do you get to the concession stand?
$30.
I sometimes go
35.
I've gone to AMC's before. I think AMC has the best popcorn. I've gone to an AMC by me and been like, hey, I just want to buy popcorn. Can I go in? And they usually let me. They've never been like, no, I'm 15 and I am going to follow all of these rules.
Yeah,
like,
right? They're like, go ahead, man.
I could probably just have a piece of paper that says ticket on it and show it to them, and they'd be like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's part of the Sacred Compact.
Exactly, yeah. I asked this because I was curious. I don't know. I guess I just Googled the word Dungeons and Dragons because I wanted to see a picture. I wanted to see if I could find a picture of the dragons from this movie and the ones from the last one, see if they're similar. What I found is, in Malaysia specifically, and only Malaysia, they have a thing that is like the D&D dice thing that holds popcorn in it, the vessel.
Oh.
They have their own kind of vessel, but it's not that. It is a cup. Do you want to guess what this cup is? And to explain what it is, it's like a fancy, big plastic, fancy special thing. It is cool, and I think it's better than the dice for sure.
What?
In fact, I kind of want this now. Yeah.
Is it a big like Stein or something?
No. Yeah, it's something else. It's something very specific.
Oh, okay.
I'll find a picture and I'll put it in the chat once we all give up. I had to look this up too because it costs 138 M.
Whoa.
RM, hold on, which is a Malaysian unit of so it's actually about $38. So it's pretty similar to what they paid for the other thing.
Okay.
And yeah, it seems like this is only in Malaysia. I don't know why. I don't know why they only got this, because we all deserve it, but
yeah, we all deserve
this. Yeah, do you want to take a guess, Diggins, at what this is?
I'm trying to look it up.
Don't look it
up.
up.
Find it.
Take a guess, you cheater.
Yeah, guess.
Okay, fine. It's a
Yeah, you can't win this like you win the IMDb challenge by cheating.
Yeah,
I mean,
get him,
you lost this
Nando.
week, but still, I cheated better.
A big castle.
It is in the shape of a castle, but that is not the function. It serves a specific function.
Oh, a specific okay, so it's a big castle that has... It's like one of those crazy drinking hats where the straw goes zoop around and goes right in your mouth.
No, that'd be sick. DJ, do you want to take one more guess before I put in the thing?
Oh gosh, is it a dragon where you like drink out of its mouth, you put into the tail and drink out its mouth or something?
It got cut off, but I'm gonna say the answer is also probably no.
Considering that Nando already said that it is in the shape of a castle, and then you said that it was a dragon.
Oh,
it's in the shape of a castle,
a
but
dragon castle.
You could use it as something else in your everyday life.
Okay.
Toilet.
I mean, you can use anything in your everyday life. Now, I'll post it in the chat. It is a dice tower rolly thing.
Oh,
son of a bitch! Why did we not get this?
Right? Like, it's pretty cool. Like, and it's got a little cup in it for you drink out of it. But like, I feel like they could have. I mean, I'm sure they sold 1 million of the dice thingies too. But I feel like they could have really moved some of these in nerd circles in America.
Sell for like $50. Actually, you want to know something about the D20 popcorn thing? So I think I told you this, Nando. So they give you the like D20 in like the plastic bag. And it's like, here you go. And then they give you like your large popcorn in the typical large popcorn tin. And she's like, don't put your popcorn in this. It's gonna fuck up the thing. Like, you don't want the dirty popcorn in your nice little like D20 thing. So she was like selling me against the idea of using it as like the popcorn tin it's sold as.
That's what I respect. I like that they like acknowledge that it's not like dumb, but it's like, don't ruin your popcorn.
And the tin, it's like both ways. It's like, don't ruin your popcorn and don't ruin your like D20. But like, I appreciate the tip.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have anyway. Like, I don't think I would have taken the effort to empty my popcorn from the large bucket into the D20.
Oh, no way.
Also, just based on the hand size of someone holding this, it seems like it costs more money. Or it seems like it would hold less popcorn than a popcorn bucket.
Yeah,
so
I think
like,
that's right.
Am I going to put this?
Yeah.
I'm going to hold both. Like,
let me tell you from my harrowing life experience today, the large popcorn bucket is quite large.
I mean, Dickens, I believe you, but also, I'll go through a large popcorn bucket in a minute. Like that is.
Oh, that's Nando. That's disgusting.
I'm a popcorn machine.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not that I was so full; it's that it was too much butter and salt all at once.
Yeah, man, you can't do that.
You can.
I will get because AMC blah blah blah. Like any popcorn you order is a large popcorn, even if you pay for a not large, right? But I get the large by myself and leave half of it. Like that's just better.
Wow.
DJ,
I'm not gonna have a horrible experience.
It can't be me because I'm a monster, and if there's food in front of me, I will eat it. Even if
that's fair.
Like if I'm sitting through the movie and the popcorn's in front of me, it's gonna be empty by the end of the movie, whether I want it to be or not.
It depends. I did for Avatar because it was like 4 hours. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna tank this whole thing. But for Dungeons and Dragons, nah, I'm leaving half that shit.
Wow.
I'm not doing.
You get a refill
I'm not
on
doing
the way
it.
out.
No, I'm not bringing it home. Why am I bringing it home?
Oh, you're missing out. Bring it over to me. I'll eat it.
Maybe when like Jackson's older and I have to like he's always hungry, I'll be like, all right, man, here you go. Yeah. Go wild.
Daddy, I would like some protein for dinner. Too bad. This week is popcorn only. Go back to the AMC and get more popcorn.
DJ,
we can afford it. I know, but I said I'd do this on a podcast 10 years ago.
Wow, Jackson, your voice is
principle, damn it.
Your voice is really high pitched for a 10-year-old.
Yeah. He's gonna raise him as like a little Lord Fauntleroy kid, you know, like.
Yeah. Also, sounding like from Newsies. Extra, read all about it.
Yeah. Also, I'm on eBay right now just because I was curious. These, I don't know how many of these are actually selling for this much, but this is on the sold category. Looks like the popcorn buckets are going for like $100 a pop.
Damn.
The
what?
dice
I can
ones.
flip it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Of course you can flip it. It's an exclusive promotional item. Those are made to be flipped.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, I mean, Michelle won't let me, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying, why are you surprised?
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth that. Like, if whoever spent $100 on it will be disappointed with what arrives. That is not.
And also, it's like I'd have to put it in a box and ship it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
If someone wants to come to my house and give me $100 for it or whatever, maybe that's fine. But even that, I don't know.
The only time I did anything close was I went to a Yankees game, like bobblehead day, with like a friend, and the guy right then and there, because my friend didn't want it, was like, "I give you $10 for it." And my friend was like, "Sure," just like boom,
yeah,
doing business.
That makes sense.
Because it's like, yeah, maybe I get more than $10 for it later, but like I just get $10 now. It's like I'm getting half a beer right now.
It would have to be substantially more than I would get for it later for me to value that more than the convenience of not having to do with something later.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That too.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But yeah, guys, so that's the movie. That's Dungeons and Dragons. Any other Dungeons and Dragons thoughts?
I think everyone should go play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. You should go play a tabletop role-playing game. Doesn't have to be Dungeons and Dragons, but if that's the one you're interested in, that's fine too.
That is a legal requirement. It has to be Dungeons and Dragons. You have to give them money.
Yeah, give Hasbro your money. Give Hasbro your money.
Hey, there's plenty of ways to play D&D without giving Hasbro your money.
That's also true.
Many of the rules are free online.
Yeah. Yeah. You could even a lot of the SRD and D&D Beyond is free. So
it is a shame this movie isn't performing super well because I would like to see a sequel to it.
I know, and
Maybe
like
it'll have a long
I wish they
tail.
were.
Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, usually it helps when the movie's good.
Yeah.
That's
Especially
usually
if
when
another
long tails
movie,
happen.
if a movie for the same audience comes out that next week and it gets a very bad review, that probably might help the good one. But
well, like I want them to be rewarded for like their good efforts.
Yeah.
Like they did good. It's a good movie.
I mean,
Very
like,
enjoyable.
sincerely, it does often help to have a long tail. If people like the movie, go out and tell people, hey, that movie's pretty good, actually. And then people who might not have gone will be like, yeah, sure, why not? Everyone says it's good.
yeah, I'm seeing right now the box office is, as of now, right around 80 million. However, the budget for it, according to this online, is 150 million, which is a lot of money.
Ah, they spent a lot.
Yikes.
Wow. That better be a super long tail. That better be a chunky dragon long tail.
That better be an Avatar 2 tail.
Yeah, better be.
Seriously.
Speaking of Michelle Rodriguez being brought back from the dead, you see, she was like, I don't want to be brought back from the dead anymore. That was like 2 weeks ago. And then in this movie, she gets brought back from the dead.
Well, she already knew that. It happened when she said it.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe they brought her back for a scene. They were like, Michelle, you actually gave us a fantastic idea. We're gonna let your character die, but we're gonna actually bring you back from the dead.
Real quick question. What did you think of her performance in this movie?
Same as usual.
I kind of liked it. Like I thought the early scenes were like fun, and I enjoyed her on the screen more than I didn't. Like I actually thought she did like a pretty decent job.
Well, it helps that this character is supposed to not care that much about most of what happens.
Yeah.
I think the thing with her is true of all of them, honestly. No member of the cast surprised me in that this was a perfectly cast movie where everybody came in and did their thing and then like kind of went home. So like her thing was this, and it's usually this in like, you know, Avatar or Fast and Furious, Justice Smith, clearly. I don't really know what Sophia Lillis is known for. Chris Pine, you know. It's like...
Daisy Head.
Who is she? What's she from?
I don't know. I'm just saying that.
That's the evil one, right?
Yeah, she's Sophina.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her. But the rest of them, like... Yeah, I mean, Hugh Grant, for sure, is like this.
Yeah.
Oh, she's, I don't know who Judy Talbot is. So she was in that Sandman show.
She is not even a month older than me, and that makes me feel bad.
How dare you? Yeah. In Sandman, she is one of the characters at the diner. Okay, so that probably isn't super helpful, but yeah, I think this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another one of these. Maybe. I hope so. What would you want him to do?
So,
What's
too.
a good like second quest for these guys?
Well, is it a second quest for these guys, or is it something like entirely different? Like we're doing Ravenloft. Or
No,
some shit
I feel like
that.
you got to bring the cast
Okay.
back. It's like the charm of it is Chris Pine. That's how you sell
I mean,
it.
I can see them like maybe doing like a Curse of Strahd where they're facing off against like one of like the big bads, and like, you know, having them, I don't know, face like against like one of the real big D&D heavy hitters. Because then you could cast someone like big as one of like the iconic D&D villains. Like that could be awesome.
Well, that would
like
be that would be like real different in tone though, because that's like gothic horror, vampire lord stuff. That's like,
Well, but could you?
I mean, I would like that. I like Curse of Strahd a lot. It's just that would be a big difference. I don't think that's bad. Like I think it would. I honestly think it would be better if they explored different tones and styles of adventures instead of just doing this again.
Well, like kind of like Guardians, right? Like I don't know the second one, right? Like it kind of grapples with more like that, like Peter Quill, like who are you, self-discovery, stuff like that. You know, still getting over like the mom stuff and
Well, yeah, where is Chris Pine's
like,
dad in all this?
That's a great point.
It's Strahd. Oh my god.
Oh no.
It doesn't make any
But
sense.
like whatever. But I would love that to like take on like a D&D big bad. I think that would
That'd be cool.
Awesome.
I mean, Zaz Tam is already a big D&D big bad, or they could capitalize on Stranger Things and have Vecna show up.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Well,
And then play that song everybody likes.
Yeah. Do you know what Vecna's deal is, Nando? I don't know. I didn't watch Stranger Things the last season.
I watched
so-
Stranger Things. He's like, but in the show, he's kind of like, the Vecna is like a code name for just a bad guy who's kind of controlling
Yeah.
everything. They don't really, it's not like the Mind Flayer where it's got a superpower, at least not one that comes up too often.
it's not even close, Diggins. It's not.
I think it's a wizard, right, or something?
Well, he's also a lich, so.
Okay.
But he's like an incredibly powerful, like way more powerful than a normal one, and his right eye and his right hand, I think, or it might be his left eye and his left hand. It's an eye and a hand. He's like chopped them off. They aren't part of his body anymore, and they are powerful magic items that you can chop off your own hand and put his hand on, and then you have some of his power, but it also makes you evil.
They haven't done that in the show yet, but maybe they're saving that for the last season. I can't remember if he survives or not. Also, I put in the chat, there's also a Thunder Sean popcorn bucket. We really got the worst one in America.
God.
Wow, they have a Thunder Sean?
Whatever it's called. Thember Sean. Okay, yeah, that guy.
The pedant has returned.
Yeah, I don't know if this one was in America or also just in Malaysia or something, but they really went all out for this movie. Honestly, I think if they did more of these, people would probably buy most of them. Not like only for this movie, but for other
This was the one for
things.
Cinemark.
Ah, okay.
Oh man, I have a Cinemark by me.
The most important thing about Cinemark is that it has the single worst subscription plan of any of the theater chains.
Oh, really?
Do you think so?
Do you know what it is, DJ?
It's $10 a month. You get one ticket a month, but the ticket can roll over.
Yeah. One ticket
like,
a month?
But one ticket costs more than $10.
Depends on when you go, DJ. Sometimes they don't.
Well, all right. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. As someone who may or may not be subscribed to it.
Wait, you canceled your AMC, but you kept your Cinemark?
Well, like, I got rid of my A-list, like, forever ago. Yeah.
Wow, incredible.
Like when Jackson was born, I got rid of the A-list because I'm like, this is way too expensive.
Okay,
I'm not
well,
going to
I
these
pay
movies a month.
barely more than double what you pay, and I can see unlimited movies whenever I want.
All right, well, not all of us are gifted by good, geographic theaters, so...
All I'm saying is the Cinemark one is really bad.
I might disagree.
I'm going to think about it. I have not done any of these yet. I don't know if Regal has one, but like with the screenings, I think I'd probably like to see some of these movies, just go see Dungeons and Dragons again during the day. And like, it's probably worth it if I pay to see one movie a month.
Yeah, the Regal one pays for itself in 2 visits.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're in the more expensive media markets, like New York, it's, I think, $23 a month. But, like, tickets are, like, $18 a month, or $18 here. So, yeah, I see 2 movies and I've already saved a bunch of money.
Although, to be fair, now that I thought about it, maybe I won't be near a Regal one when I move. So I should probably figure out where the movie theaters are there before I get a subscription. But
That's a great
If it's New Jersey, it's an AMC.
Yeah.
Hey, Nando, that's a great point.
That's a great point.
Well, Diggins, mine pays for itself in 1 visit because I only need to see
Unless
one
you go
movie.
see a matinee or on a Tuesday, and then it costs you money.
I'm a father. I can't. I have to go to see movies at 11 o'clock at night by myself. This is my life now.
You can't go on a Tuesday because you're a father?
Exactly. Tuesdays are out. You'll understand one day, Diggins. You'll understand.
I guess.
You'll be like, what happened to my Tuesdays?
Oh, DJ, how confident of you to think that I will one day father a child.
I feel pretty good about it. Who knows you haven't?
Hey, I'm pretty sure.
Speaking of that, you guys, there's a movie
Speaking of
coming out
fathering
called
children.
His Only Son that seems to be about Jesus. I don't know. We're
Yeah,
not doing this, but it looks
I
pretty
saw
funny.
that. I saw that playing on my way to see the movie. I was like, that
Yeah.
can only be one thing, and I don't want to see it.
That's what it
Oh.
is. Exactly that.
What if someone who did, oh my God, won the March Madness?
Oh, well, let's talk about that. So
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard from one of them.
Okay.
But
Yeah, we had 2 winners. Congratulations.
yeah, so who are those two? Like, what were they? Did they like nail it? Did they get close?
The women's bracket, like, crushed it.
Perfect
wow.
bracket.
Yeah, had the champion for LSU, like near perfect at the end. So, congratulations to Daisy May Smegma. You
Great.
did it. You won.
And this person will be able to text or like message us like
Yeah.
from now on.
Reach out to us. Yeah.
And what's
yeah.
the other one?
Jordan S. Cohen.
Yeah, I think that's
Is
the
that right?
person who
Yeah,
messaged
yeah,
me.
Yeah. Yes.
So I wanted to double check with them, but the one
They also got the champion right, UConn, and had a pretty solid bracket. So yeah.
there you go. The one that I heard, or they were switching, or they were like kind of thinking between The Social Network or Monsters University. The Social Network is one of those movies that's good, so I'm like, will this be fun? But I've never seen Monsters University, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But
It's decent.
It's fine.
okay,
I think it's good nitpicking fodder because it's like it's in the realm of those like Pixar movies where it's like, oh, like the quality's like it's not a home run, maybe it's questionable how good it is. So I think there's some good fodder there for nitpicking.
well, that
was-
would probably
it was
be the best
early-
choice then.
It was early Pixar decline before we realized we were in the Pixar decline.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
and
good
also
way to
early,
put
like,
it.
Pixar, like, we need a sequel or something. Whatever. Who cares? Put the monsters in it. It'll be fine. Take this script that doesn't have the monsters in it and make them all monsters. Maybe. I don't know. That's a guess. But, yeah, so that sounds great. But if you're that other person, let us know. Reach out to us. Twitter, Instagram, email, maybe.
If you need some ideas for real trash to force us to watch, you can hit me up.
Yeah, it's true.
You suggest His Only Son. You know, we won't do it, but you could
Have
suggest
to go
it.
into the movie theater to watch it.
Like a hero.
Like a hero.
Like
yeah,
a
do you think
hero.
Jesus comes out before that movie starts and is like, you are the real Jesus saviors because you came to see my movie? And
You
then
have truly
Jean
taken on-
Page is like, you got popcorn in your popcorn Jesus head bucket or whatever.
You have
Like,
truly
right?
taken on the weight of the sins of this world.
Yeah, if they don't have that, they should. All right. Well, do you want to get to our classic segment then?
Oh man, do I ever?
All right. DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
Maybe.
All right. Well, let's see.
All right. So so like I'm just gonna give you a little insight into what I've been doing. I've been fucking binging Succession
You've
like
been
crazy
fucking?
And binging Succession.
at the same. It's actually very.
I mean, there's episodes of
Never mind.
Succession where I would expect a character would be, if Succession existed in universe, they would be both having sex and watching Succession. Tom would be bragging about how last night all he did was watch Succession and have sex.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna recommend Succession because like that's dumb because like
Because it's a bad show that no one likes.
That's exactly right.
Exactly. So I got like the other thing I've been doing besides watching a lot of Succession is I've been trying to do more cooking. Just something I've kind of like wanted to do to like try like more like different meals and stuff like that. And I've actually been cracking into a cookbook I got for Christmas, so a little bit a while ago, but I'm getting some use out of it. And hopefully the person who got this for me isn't listening, so they're like, wait, what, you didn't use my Christmas gift until now? But it's cool, better late than never. So it's called Just Married, a cookbook for newlyweds by Caroline Chambers. They're all meals that are like meant for like you and a couple and like your partner. The idea is like, you know, you're newly married. This actually would be a great wedding gift too. If, like you don't have good wedding gift ideas. But like to give someone like they're like just married, like new recipes to try out together. If you want to host like a dinner party, something like that. And I like her style because like they're very like simple, like very simplified meals. And she writes like a very fun way. She also has a Substack that you could subscribe to. I'm subscribed to, where it's like a meal in your inbox every Sunday, and it's like 30-minute meals. It's called What to Cook When You Don't Feel Like Cooking, and this one's more where she focuses on her like being a mom, and it's like, I'm a mom, I barely have time, but here's how you could eat good without spending a lot of time and resources. And I've really been enjoying it. So you know, it's like weird to recommend a Substack, so it's like, you know, the book is really good. So I found out about the Substack from the book. But yeah, the book is called Just Married, a cookbook for newlyweds by Caroline Chambers, who also has a Substack. So if you feel like you want to get some cooking going on, you know, for you and the people in your life, then, you know, that's what I would recommend.
DJ, you said one crazy
Yeah.
thing in that whole recommendation.
What's that?
Which is
Sure.
either they have a registry or I'm giving them money. There is no world in which I am thinking of a wedding present.
Okay, fine. That's fair. I don't know. It depends, you know, but that's fair. Well, then I guess if you want to gift yourself something for getting married, then, you know, I think it's a good cookbook. I also, well, no, I don't want to talk about the actual Christmas gift I got. Fuck it. I was like, been married for a minute, but, you know, thank you for this Christmas gift book. And, like, I'm not positive, but I'm wondering if it was a regift because the person who gave it to me was recently married. But I don't know. I don't want to accuse.
You hear that?
like,
Whoever in
people
DJ's
that
life
listen to the
gave
thing.
him that present. This is a call-out post for you.
Yep.
No, I genuine curiosity. Maybe I'll ask this person. I won't be all, like, weird about it. But, like, it did cross my mind.
I hope you're listening so you know how much DJ distrusts you as a person.
No, it's just like, look, regifting is not bad, by the way. I don't want to come out here and be like, oh, if you're regift, you're a monster.
I do want to say that, and I'm saying it now.
Regifting is evil if you get caught.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's probably fine.
Just don't get caught. It's like shoplifting. Just don't get caught.
Exactly. Well,
Exactly.
shoplifting. I mean, as long as you don't get it Harper, you're fine. But if the fucking Harper's around, then, you know, you might get in some trouble. Wage theft, though, that's a different story.
Hey. Some politicians or Lord's Alliance members might, legitimize that. So, Diggins, do you have any recommendations?
Okay, look, guys.
Uh-huh.
Listener, come here for a second. Just gonna lean in over.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
Oh?
I get it. But just hear me out. I got one thing to say. Creed 3 is really good, though.
Right. It is really good.
Creed 3 is really good, and he's already gotten his money. It's not like he's a producer.
Oh my God.
Or you could
compromise Diggins.
I would never advocate this, but you could also just pirate it. I would never advocate that. You shouldn't do it. But it's a thing an unscrupulous person could do if they wanted to see that movie.
Because, it is really good.
It's really good.
Did you like the texts? How'd you feel about the texts? We're like, these texts.
I mean, he's really good in it. That's the worst part. You really want to get into, like, the parts of that movie that are, like, even worse now. It's like, he's so good.
Yeah.
But also the directing parts I think Michael B. Jordan did a very good job.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He made it anime.
He did make it anime. He punched him into the Shadow Realm. That was pretty good.
I mean, they do a full-on cross counter, Nando. It's pretty anime right there. And they do go into the Shadow Realm, the boxing dimension.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. It's pretty good. I was a little bit, not like skeptical, but going in I was skeptical. But that first fight with whoever he's fighting, I don't even remember. That one's pretty good. But then, by the end, you're like, oh shit, they're doing it.
The character's name.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one he fought in the first Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're talking about Creed's first fight, right?
Creed's first. The one that opens the movie where he punches the guy and then the water comes off his back. I think that's in that scene.
Yeah, that's his rematch with Ricky Conlon from the first movie.
Yeah, it's been. I only saw the first movie once, so I kind of forgot who that was. And he wasn't related to someone from the original, so it's not super easy to remember.
But yeah, no, listen, I get it. If you don't want to see it, that's fine. I'm not telling you gotta. But if you do see it through whatever means you deem appropriate, it is a very good movie.
Are there like glasses I could put on that like gives me Jonathan Majors like face blindness? Is that like
you
a
get
thing,
a deep
maybe?
fake or like a version where it's someone else. It's Michael B. Jordan also. 2 Michael B. Jordans in one movie.
Fighting each other.
Yeah.
Damn.
That could also be anime.
That could be anime. That is very anime. Yeah, Evil Twin.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my sort of wreck, I guess. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Thievery.
What about you, Nando?
I mean, I don't want to wreck anything like that, so I'll wreck something that's cool instead. No, I mean, I wrecked that movie before it was bad, but I will say things I watched this week, I think are things I've wrecked before, but they both finished or I finished them. I finished Swarm. I think the ending is good. It's weird. And especially, so the 7th episode is the ending. It's only 7 episodes. The 6th episode is really weird. And I loved it. And I think that is great. And if you're not sold on the whole angle, and if you're like, does this show know what it's doing? 6 is where you're like, oh yeah, they get it. Which I thought was great. Do either of you guys, we talked about it, right? Kind of what Swarm is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sort of about the Bayhive.
Yeah, it's Bayhive, but it's also kind of real things where fans have done weird stuff, all kind of mushed into one character who's the Forrest Gump of this, who's just doing it all herself. And I thought it was great. The other thing I watched this week was Party Down had its finale this week, so I finished that. Still love it, obviously. It's great. I hope they make more of it. I want to see some of the fake movies that exist in their universe, because there's a whole Avengers universe that they keep one of the characters is trying to get into, with Manputer and Eco Man or something. So I would like them to produce one of those just to show in the background for 5 seconds. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I thought the new guys in that were very good. I would just overall, if you liked Party Down, the new season's great. I have not started the new season of Schmigadoon, but I heard that's out. I think. Yeah, it just came out today, so I'm looking forward to checking out the first 2 episodes of that. Before next time we talk, I don't think I've really been watching anything else. Those things have kind of taken all my time and energy besides this and the movie that we'll talk about next week. Which one is that, guys?
Super Mario Brothers.
Well, that is right.
It's all the critics are saying it's a movie.
Yeah. All the critics are saying lies out of their lying mouths. You can't trust them.
All the critics are saying that we have a personal a grudge against you, the viewer, when we don't like a movie that you do like.
That's right. Yeah, it's a weird one. I'm curious, very curious to see what other people think of this movie. But we'll talk about it next week. For that, excuse me. Oh. CJ, do you have anything you want to plug for the fine people?
Please check out Roses and Rejections. We are covering Love is Blind, a show that is insane and I love.
Oh my God.
Nando, did you see they're doing a live finale for Love is Blind? Netflix is trying to live shit out.
What are they doing?
A live finale.
No way.
Yeah, so the reunion show is going to be live.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, are the weddings going to be live?
Oh, no, like the reunion show where they all like come back.
I was going to say, didn't they film the rest of it forever ago? How could it be live?
Yeah, sorry. So I guess like finale is like misleading. So like they always have these like reunion shows where they do like a deep dive on what happened, and they got criticism for last season because it was filmed like a year like before it was aired, so it just felt very out of date. So they're because I know Netflix has been trying to do live stuff, like the Chris Rock special was live. So it's a live reunion show. I'm very excited to see what it's like. There's a trailer, Nando, for it, like on like the Love is Blind page on Netflix. Zach looks like a caveman.
But wait,
I don't know how
if it's not live, what is it?
Wait,
like how is
what do you
there a
mean?
trailer for it? It's live.
My guess is they've probably filmed it recently.
Oh,
because
okay.
all of their photos in that look like their very recent Instagram photos. Most notably, Zach. Zach looks like a caveman who's given up hope. Like I don't know what his story ends up being, but that is not a married man right now. He looks devastated and disheveled. So see how it shakes out for him. But
are you sure you weren't accidentally looking at a picture of me?
you know, it's weird. He might look like no. But yeah. So check out our podcast. We're covering that. We're gonna be off for like the next 2 weeks because Michelle and I are gonna be on vacation. But I'll be here. I'll be here for next week's Mario pod, and then I'll be out. I'm gonna miss the Renfield pod. I'm like so sad about that.
I can't wait.
No.
I think you guys are gonna have a blast with it.
I mean, I'm excited for that, but I'm also excited for this Love is Blind thing. It's gonna be exciting.
Oh yeah. So listen to Roses and Rejections for all of our 2-week-old analysis, but current analysis for episodes 1 through 8. I think we do a really good job at dissecting it.
What about you, Diggins? Do you have anything to plug?
Go down my newsletter, a little perspective.substack.com. I've been streaming Resident Evil 4 Remake lately, so you can check that out on twitch.tv/thisisanodname. And I also want to do a quick shout out to Matthew Bitts on Twitter, who pointed out that the henchman in John Wick 4 is speaking Chilean Spanish, not Portuguese. I didn't recognize some words because they're kind of specific terms to Chilean Spanish, but I said a wrong thing, and I believe that means he gets my spot on the podcast now.
Someone explained something to me about that, too. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Someone was asking if that character is playing a stereotype. So not that character, sorry. If Scott Adkins' character is playing a stereotype. Like, I asked that. I'm like, is that a thing? Apparently, this is supposed to be a character that is, like, Turkish, and he's running organized crime in Germany, and apparently that is a stereotype.
Oh, yeah. That's actually really bad, then. Whoops.
Yeah. Interesting. Still love it. Still my favorite. Oh, you know what? I can wreck this. I've mostly finished it. I was watching a movie with Scott Adkins because I was like, is this guy cool? And he was in a movie called Accident Man where the hitmen all fight each other. It's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun fight scenes and all those actors that kind of do this, like Michael Jai White and Ray Park and stuff. But his deal is he's a hitman who makes it look like an accident, but he like does it.
Oh.
Yeah, the first one was on Amazon. The second one I haven't watched yet, but they're pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know if he's got if he's got it. There's a part of me that's like, he could be an interesting Batman. He looks just so much like Batman without his big giant prosthetics on and stuff. And he can do the karate and stuff. It's just like, is he a good actor? And I'm still not sold, but maybe.
But yeah, what about you, Nando? Do you have anything to plug?
You know, I just put out a video, a couple things. So put out a video the other day. That's my Phase 4 wasn't that bad video that is on YouTube. But then that meant another video went on Nebula, and that video is the superhero movies that have lots of trains in them, what's going on with that video. And I think that video is great. And so if you're on Nebula, you can watch that now. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what the next video is going to be. I'm still working on that. But yeah, those two things. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. That's most of it. I feel like I didn't do any podcasts this week besides this one.
No, not even this one.
The least important of your podcasts.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And it's a great. This episode's so good. I am curious to see what other people think of next week, though. I'm really just what are we gonna get? You know, are people gonna love it? Are people gonna not love it? You know what? I was on an episode of a show the other day that actually probably hasn't released in the last couple of it released in the last couple of days. On a show called the Dial Up Movie Club, where they do podcasts about movies, and for their 3-hour movie month, they had me on to talk about Endgame. That was fun. That movie doesn't make any sense. So we talked about that for a while. Not for 3 hours. What kind of podcast could possibly think to do a 3-hour podcast?
Insane. No one would ever.
Monsters.
And no one ever will.
Monsters.
So next week, Super Mario Brothers. Until then, I've been at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
And I'm at This Is an Odd Name and loving whatever accent Nando was doing there.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Woo.
Woohoo!